Welcome to Book Club The Yappening, a podcast where we discuss every and all things we've read and some of us haven't read, in a safe place where we can yap about life in general. In the description, you'll find links to our Fable, Instagram, and Discord accounts. Please follow for more yapping in different styles. For a warning, we will 100% be spoiling this book, so please pause, go read, and come back to yap. Read the trigger warnings before continuing on.
All right, and we are back with part 3 of Sweet Far Thing by Libba Bray. Okay, so we join our 2 remaining girls at a ball. They're in London, they're at a ball. The ball is being thrown specifically by Felicity's sponsor, Lady Markle, and it is in honor of Felicity making her debut this season. So it's like a coming out party type thing, pre-debut.
Well, not coming out. But...
Well, no, of course not. But anyways, so
did she go? Sorry, did she go back on her like I'm not gonna sponsor you, or has that thing part not happened?
So Gemma made her, basically told her you're really excited to sponsor Felicity.
Using her magic, her
yeah. So this is like
control.
Kind of a byproduct of that. Obviously, that is entirely too easy, so that is not going to be the end of this like struggle bus thread line, but this is where we are now. So while they're at the ball,
Siri thought she was talking to her.
While at the ball, Gemma spots Folsom. She notices that he's dressed as a servant and he is going upstairs, so she follows after him. He enters a room for a secret meeting, basically. He's meeting with Lord Denby. Who's Lord Denby? Apparently he's Simon's dad, and like I just completely forgot about this, so I was like so confused when it was supposed to be this big reveal that this high-ranking Rakshana member was Lord Denby. But Lord Denby is Mr. Middleton, basically, so it's Simon's dad. Yeah, so either way, he's a fancy London dude. And he seems to not only be part of the Rakshana, but he's Folsom's boss. Folsom tells Denby that he's keeping an eye on him, just as Denby asked. Folsom exits, and Gemma is furious that she kissed the son of a Rakshana member, which I don't know why that even matters, especially considering the fact that she has kissed a Rakshana member and a brother of a Rakshana member, but like...
Because she wasn't trying to collect a set, and she accidentally collected a set.
I know, yeah, I guess. Now she's got to find a father and a grandfather and a cousin. Okay, so...
No relation. Please, no relation.
She marches into the room to confront Lord Denby. When she comes in the room, Denby's obviously really taken aback, and he tells her that this room is boys only, but he'll take her back downstairs. She then tells him that she needs to speak with him. He tells her that he's needed at the table. I'm assuming that perhaps he's playing cards or something, but he's like, my boys need me, so I can't possibly talk to you. So then she says, it's incredibly urgent, but I'm happy to go talk to Folsom if that's better for you. So obviously, Denby excuses himself and takes her into a private room. Once in private, he tells her that she tells him that she knows he's targeting Tom, and he more or less basically says yeah. And apparently her plan was just to ask him nicely again to leave Tom alone. Like that was her only plan.
And make him swallow his own tongue.
Make him swallow someone else's.
Magic.
I mean,
how's he gonna tell anybody I did it?
You know what? Facts.
You are the bed.
Okay, so
I am dead, and I am a bed.
He tells her that this is out of his hands, basically, like, please leave Tom alone, sorry, but it's out of my hands. At which point she asks to see his manager. He then says,
give me your manager.
He's like, you misunderstand me. It's out of my hands because it's in your hands. Because apparently she forgot that the whole reason this is happening is because she has the magic and she doesn't want to share.
They're not making it any more willing to share it. That's the problem.
I know.
Everyone's acting like a goddamn fool.
I know. Nick, play hold music. Okay, so she apparently forgot that the whole reason they're even targeting Tom is because she has magic. So, like, girl.
I mean, is Tom really that great?
No, he's not.
I mean, just let it go, girl.
Yeah, just as fine. He's a butthole. Just let him be. So her plan is obviously working super, super swell. He more or less tells Gemma that by joining the Rakshana, Tom can really become someone important. And if she gives up her magic to them, her whole family can be cared for. He even offered to have his wife throw her a party.
Party magic. Party magic.
Well, yeah, he's basically like,
yeah.
She can throw you a debut ball and it'll be better than any debut ball. Also, if you liked my brother at one point, or my son at one point, so if you want to marry him, I can make that happen too. He's like just kind of offering her everything, because Simon is still like a through line in this book as well. But I cut for time. Also, fuck him.
Wait, is Simon the boy?
Yeah.
Oh, he's the absent
The
boy.
shit on the face.
Yeah.
Spanish Flu is not copyright free, so I will figure that out when the time comes.
Wow.
I still hope a horse shits on his face.
Yeah, well, he's about to marry his like American cousin, so
He probably is
Maybe-
enjoying it. Cousin fucker.
Maybe Kartik's brother will come back with his horse, and he will get what he deserves.
I want to get with Kartik's brother,
I
man.
did
He's
not-
of age and it all. And
yeah, he's an adult. I did not know where that was going.
It's the only horse I know of.
Get his brother, bring the horse.
a girl loves a man and a horse.
Okay.
If you combine the two, got a man horse. That's a centaur.
Horseman.
You're not wrong.
We're delirious. We haven't slept. We bring you this art.
We bring you this art of
Okay.
centaurs.
So, basically, blah blah blah. Party. Gemma says fuck off. And then asks why the Rakshana are even acting this way. Basically saying you guys were the defender of the realms and the order at one point. Like, what is going on? And he basically says,
What happened to you? You used to be cool.
he basically says because capitalism. He tells her to think like an Englishwoman, telling her to imagine what the Rakshana having this power will do for the English Empire and for the future sons of England. She basically says that English men are not the only people who matter or are important. She then asks about members of the Rakshana like Amar, Kartik, or even Folson, who speaks with the Cockney accent, which usually means that he's less privileged. Also, there's been like this sort of through line of Folson too, where he thinks that if he jumps through all these hoops for Denby, that he's going to rise in the ranks of the Rakshana. And at one point he's like, hey, this Tom thing is going super great. Like, when can we talk about my promotion? And he goes, oh, this isn't the time, but we need more soldiers like you. Like, basically, you're as high as you're gonna get. Like, you're a foot soldier. You just do our bidding, basically.
And I know you've done everything that we've asked you to do, and we really appreciate that. So we're going to throw you a pizza party instead.
Right.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to review you at a low scale because we can't afford to give you a raise.
I'm sure that's not a direct quote.
You don't have the right attitude
No,
we're
that
looking
really
for.
isn't. No, but that's just like I know people it's happened to. Yeah.
You are a great worker. You don't quite have the go-getter attitude that we're looking for, so we're not going to take you higher at this time.
Yeah.
But we are going to hire someone that's fresh out of school that has connections to someone else within the company over you. So enjoy your new boss.
Yeah, I follow a lot of people on TikTok who talk about like their work and stuff and like how they get shitty reviews that they do the most work.
Yeah.
There's one woman that she was denied a promotion, but then she was supposed to hire the newbie who was taking that position. And she said, basically, no, that's not part of my job. But also, you're giving it to someone who, is brand new to the company and not someone who's like been here before. So I'm doing twice the amount of work.
Yeah, kind of like when I did a job for like 2 years and then I asked for a raise and she told me that I didn't have enough experience. So then I got a promotion without a raise. And then a year later I asked for another raise and she said, but we'll give you commission, and that's kind of like a raise. And then I said, I need a raise, and thank God, because that was January 2020, and that was a bad time for me. So
Twice in my not position but my state of work, company of work, I have trained the person who inevitably replaced me, and they sent me somewhere else in one instance and just straight up terminated me in the other without reason.
I will say I'm not. I do a lot of work, but I'm not mad about my job, and I get great reviews. And
I love that. I mean, I definitely get.
Now,
yeah, I get.
Yeah.
It's a good time now.
Same.
Kind of, but whatever. Whatever. This is the fun part of my life, and that's okay. The other part is the bacon.
Okay, back to tragedy.
Okay, so, all right. So she asks, "What about the members of the Rakshana that are not white men, or rich men?" And she then.
And they go, who?
Yeah. She then asks if women would even have a seat at this table if the Rakshana come to power. He tells her that some rule while others are meant to serve.
That is not How are you going to convince a girl with all the magic to give the magic when you say shit like that?
Right. But she might have sons and they'll benefit from it. So think about that. Think about your sons. Think about how this will impact your sons.
I care more about how it's going to impact my daughter if I have a daughter.
Thank you.
I don't mean this as a positive or, hey, here's appeal to your audience. Like, you're being a little too honest that, no, you're not going to have a seat at the table, but any male children that you create, you baby factory will.
Yeah.
Like, you're not appealing to her right now, and I could see why you aren't in power.
Right.
I could see why you're failing at your jobs.
Right. As this is all happening, they're very dramatically playing chess against each other, like literally.
Wait, why does this set up the scene even better, though? That they're playing chess against having this conversation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he takes her into, like, a private room.
He better checkmate his ass. Well, fuck.
I'm not gonna say it's foreshadowing, but it is kind of a little foreshadowing. So I'll get to that. But they walk into the private room. He sits down at the chess table and immediately starts moving pieces, like a piece. So then she sits down as they're, like, talking. So they're dramatically playing chess.
Okay, then I don't mind saying what I was gonna say. I had envisioned him, like, playing chess against someone else while Gemma just kind of stands there while talking to him, kind of symbolizing that she will do nothing and everyone else will, like, destroy themselves in the process while she. But that is not the case. I retract. It's a good idea, but
yeah. So let's see. He tells her that she can more or less decide the life she wants, and he'll make it happen for her. So basically, like, tell me what you want, and you can have it, but you have to give me the magic, basically. At that point, he takes her queen and calls checkmate. And then he is basically like, the boys need me, adieu. And says basically, like, consider the offer because I'm not going to make it again. And, like, this is in your best interest to do that. So, a part of the side quest that is unfolding here is Gemma and Felicity.
He's like, Mom!
I know. Gemma and Felicity believed that this ball is more or less for Felicity to celebrate Felicity because it's supposed to be, and that this should indicate that she's in the clear to get her inheritance. However, after her confrontation with Denby, she returns back down to the ballroom and she is walking past Lady Denby and Lady Markle, Markle being the sponsor, Lady Denby being Simon's mom. They're, like, standing on the outskirts of the ballroom and they're chit-chatting. And basically, the sponsor has arranged with Felicity's father that she will debut Felicity. Like, she will sponsor her and let her have her debut, But the second she's debuted, she's being moved into Lady Markle's house, where Lady Markle will oversee her season and train her to be a good wife, basically. Like, she's out of control, and her father said that she can come live with me. And then someone said, like, yeah, with all that inheritance, maybe she can even marry one of our sons, and then we'll kind of gain that wealth. Also, spoilers, guess who her betrothed ends up being? Lady Markle's son.
Oh, never mind.
So it's not like she has ulterior motives in this whatsoever.
She's gonna choose the berries.
So anyways, Gemma's pissed, and she's mad from Lord Denby. She's mad at this because, like, this is my friend, and why are you throwing her this party if you're just gonna just fuck around still? So she then, and I just put she causes chaos here, but Simon's, like, not quite betrothed, but she's, like, standing there too, and so Gemma makes Simon come up and, like, dance provocatively with her in the ball. So, like, shit just is breaking loose because they're dancing inappropriately. They're dancing in the face of the woman that he's, like, courting, and all this stuff.
They call this twerking.
Yeah, and at the end of the ball, Felicity runs up and she goes, "Can you imagine all the scandal and none of it involving me?" And it's like, I love that, babe. I love that so much. Yeah. She's like, the drama, and it isn't involving me for once. And I can't get in trouble for it. Lord Denby corners her, like, as she's, like, using her magic to do all this crazy shit, and basically says, you have no idea who you're messing with and what I can do to you, basically. Like, so she matches his energy, and is like, bring it, bitch. And then as she's leaving, he's dramatically standing out on a balcony looking out up at her, and she blows him a kiss as she gets in her carriage.
Okay, that's slay.
Yes.
But I would just break the balcony with my magic.
Right. The next day, Tom comes home and he's pouting because his friends didn't call him out to play. And then Felicity and Gemma go to visit the illusionist again. He isn't able to give them any answers to the questions that they have for him, but he does tell him that he still has Mina's slate and he will sell it to them. So he ends up selling the slate. Okay. What? Sorry, I just saw chickenpox and I was like, what? Okay, so fast forward. Felicity and Gemma are at a garden party. Anne's cousins are also at the garden party, meaning that Anne is there with the children, and the children are like fucking nightmares. Like, one of them wants to play in the roses, and Anne's like, you can't play in the roses. The last time you played in the roses, you broke them. And then she's like, Mom, Anne won't let me play in the roses. And she goes, let her play in the roses. And she's like, but she'll break them. And she goes, well, that's your job to keep her from breaking them, isn't it? And she's like, I'm keeping them from breaking them by not letting them in there. But also, like, why are you fucking letting your kids play with roses, bitch? Like, thorns? What? Anyways, so Gemma basically gives Anne magic, which Anne immediately uses to give both of the children chickenpox. And Anne has never had chickenpox, so when the doctor comes to assess the children and is like, yep, that's chickenpox, you're too old to get chickenpox, you need to get the fuck out of here, basically. Like, you need to go somewhere to stay that isn't here. And, like, as they're packing up Anne to, like, get her in the carriage, because Mrs. Nightwing is like, oh, we would love to have Anne back. We're absolutely happy to host her for a couple weeks while you guys get it together. As they're leaving, the mom is just like, what are we gonna do with 2 sick children and no one to care for them? And the dad's like, dear, we'll manage. But she's like having a whole cow that she's going to have to care for her own children. So
that's what the television's for.
Right.
Someone get the iPads.
So the band has gotten back together. Fast forward, Gemma's being moody by the lake. And then Ethel's horse comes up to her, but it's alone, basically. So she grabs the horse, walks it back over to the camp. Also, Ethel's horse is the, like, good girl that doesn't cause any trouble. Just, not that it matters, but it's the same horse.
Ooh.
Kardik then tells her that Ethel went for a ride last night and asks if she saw him, and she said, no, I was by the lake and the horse came up alone. And he's like, we've been looking for him and no one can find him anywhere. More or less, everyone assumes that he's no longer alive, either whatever is happening with the other vanishings or that Miller and the construction workers got him, but he's gone. Yes.
I'm trying to remember, there was a crow that like flew over, I don't know if it was the rock itself or like where the tower was gonna go and like disappeared. And I feel like that is
Magic barrier.
But then how I guess they can wander off and just whenever like the 2-3 times they pop back into the realms, they just haven't found them.
Okay, so
Unless there's something like actively like grabbing them.
this doesn't necessarily matter. Okay,
I get this being framed as like
I will remind
two
you
factions.
that the Poppy Warriors turn into crows.
Oh, are they the Poppy Warriors?
Not necessarily per se, but there are evil creatures in the realms that can shapeshift into birds. I am also going to tell you, because it never really is clearly stated necessarily, but obviously throughout this book, the turret specifically is slowly being erected, and there was like an offhanded comment that like once the turret is completed, the door will be open.
Yeah, Miss
So
McLeafy.
the indication here is that as the turret's getting higher and higher, more things are coming out of the realms. Yeah. And then I cut this out because for time, but there's like door-to-door theater kids type thing that like come up, they like knock on Spence and they're like, hey, we do performances, can we perform for you? And so they do the performance, and then as they're leaving, because Nightwing is like, they can go outside and watch them. None of those people are allowed inside, and you need to watch those girls like a hawk and make sure nobody like does anything weird. So they do a little play and then they head off. And as they're walking off into the woods, one of them like looks back at her, and then they walk, and then all of a sudden she just sees a bunch of crows. So the implication and general indication here is that those were realm creatures. And then the play that they were doing was basically a fair maiden needs to be sacrificed for a dragon, and like the general consensus of the play is that people were like, yeah, that's a thing that needs to happen, so like that's totally fine type of thing. So you know,
Which do you think was harder, learning how to shapeshift or learning how to act and like put on a play, put on a show for people?
Shapeshift for me personally.
It did take you longer.
It sure does, yeah. Okay, so wait, yeah, blah blah blah. Ethel's missing, vanishings or other. So Gemma turns to leave, but Kardik follows after her. He had signaled a couple days back that he wanted to speak with her. And so he does that by like hanging a red like scarf like on a tree, like where she can see it from her window. So he hung that, she ignored it. And so he basically follows after her and says like, I told you I needed to speak with you a couple days ago. And she's like, yeah, and I don't intend to speak with you, so I don't care. And then he's like, are you just gonna punish me forever? He goes on to tell her that he's been having dreams. He's in a desolate place in front of a majestic tree. Amar is leading an army of the dead, and Kardik and Gemma are together and they're fighting. Like they are standing together fighting against the like oncoming forces. And Gemma goes, are we side by side? And he says, yeah, we are. And she goes, oh, then it's definitely a dream. Don't worry about it. And then she leaves.
That's hilarious. Oh my god.
That's some dream you got there.
Also, so
literally in your dreams.
obviously I'm writing this as I'm like re-listening to the book. And going back and editing after having finished the book. I'm so fucking mad because repeatedly she's like, dreams are dreams and it doesn't fucking matter. And the fact is that she has an option to have him by her side and she says no. And if he fucking was, the book would have ended differently. And I'll get to it when I get to it. But I need you to know how fucking mad I am. Because I don't know why she needs to die on this hill that dreams don't matter when like repeatedly they do matter. Like, bitch, like... Regardless, okay. Sorry.
Her stubbornness is her downfall, and that's more realistic than everything goes a teenager's way.
Like, she's had her own prophetic dreams, girl. Like, why? Like, I don't...
The fact that he can also clearly, like, explain the place that he's been to in his dreams. Like...
Thank you. Thank you. Also, the fact that, like, Amar has... Whatever. Anyways. Later that night, Felicity and Anne come to see Gemma. They tell her it's time to go to the realms. But when they get there, something doesn't seem quite right. The factory girls and Pippa are missing. The littlest factory girl, Wendy, is hiding in the castle behind a tapestry. Jem and Co. ask her where everyone else has gone. She's completely beside herself sobbing. She said she's been hearing screams for days, and anytime she calls for someone to come be with her because she's terrified, nobody comes. So she's just been alone in this castle, hearing like phantom shrieking, and nobody is there. And she, again, is fucking blind. Like, she doesn't know what's going on. So she's like cowering in a corner, like terrified.
I thought it was kind of rude. It may have been different, but rude to ask her where everyone is.
But if they were like, oh, like, Wendy, we're going to go do this, like that type of thing, not like, did you see where they went? But like, did they tell you where they were going to go?
Yeah.
Like, do you know where they are? And she says, like, I'm not sure. I'm alone. I'm scared. Anytime I call for somebody to come help me, nobody comes. And it's honestly implied that even when they were there, if she called for someone, nobody came. So... a pixie then pops up and basically says, maybe they're in the Winterlands. And Felicity is like, absolutely not. Pippa would never do that. She would never do something like that. But like, of course she would.
You mean your corrupted friend Pippa?
Right.
Your roommate Pippa?
It's really giving dig your nails into the toxic partner until it destroys you. So just then a centaur comes running up. He calls for Gemma, telling her that Fionn has called for her. The leader of the centaurs has been murdered. His body was laid out in where the runes were, and in his hand is a poppy. Fionn asks Gemma what she knows of this. Gemma says that this is the first she's even heard of it. The forest folk aren't having this. They call her a liar. They think the Hajin did it to assist the order. Like, they sacrificed him where the runes were as like some sort of like power up. And then let's see, of course our girl Gorgon fucking sails on up, but she's very quickly on Gemma's side, saying that the order has never murdered anyone, and regardless, even if they had, Gemma is not part of the order, like point blank period. So, and the order isn't even able to access the realms either. So like, they're not here. They've never murdered anybody, and Gemma's not even a member of their ranks anyway. So like, you can't say that the order came in or had Gemma murder somebody, because that's like not their MO, and they have no access, so they have no reason to want that to happen. The forest folks say that if that's true, why did they see her sneaking into the caves to meet with the Hajin? Felicity quickly pipes up, telling them that they're lying because there's no way Gemma would have gone to the caves alone. Despite the fact that when Gemma says, I'm going to the caves to meet the Hajin, she said, boring, bye, bitch. Gemma would never go to the caves alone. You guys are obviously lying. And so, obviously, Fionn directly asks Gemma for the truth. She knows that if she lies, that she's going to get caught, and that's going to be a big problem. But, of course, if she tells them the truth, like, it paints, it's a bad look. So like, if she tells them the truth, they're going to think that she's disloyal. If she lies to them, then she fucked up and lied, and then that's going to be a problem. So she confirms she did go to the temple, but that she didn't go there to meet with the Hajin. She went there to meet with Circe. At this point, it is very important to note that no one except Gemma and the Hajin know that she's alive. Everyone in the realms, including all of the girls, think that she's dead. So Gemma explains that Circe is alive, but she's trapped in the well. She only went there to try and get info on the Winterlands. Everyone is completely horrified by this. Fionn tells Gemma that they have given her the benefit of the doubt and defended her repeatedly to the forest folk, and in return she's giving them nothing, not followed through on promises, and now they find out that she's been in secret colluding with a member of the order. Gemma tries to explain that Circe isn't a part of the order. The order wants nothing to do with her. To which Fionn says, if they want nothing to do with her, why do you want something to do with her? Like, if she's so terrible that the Order won't have anything to do with her, why are you meeting with her repeatedly? So Gemma basically tries to explain that Cersei is like the only one that'll be honest with her. But anyways, they tell Gemma that that now they are gonna have to side with their people. Basically, Fion's like, you done did it. I can't do this anymore. I can't defend you. Like, this is entirely too much. So basically, Fion says, I'm gonna protect my people. I'm gonna do what I need to protect us. They turn around and they leave, but as they're leaving, one member of the forest folk turns around and spits in her face, and then they all go. Felicity at this point grabs Gemma and is shaking her like, girl, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean? And Gemma defends herself, basically saying that Cersei's the only one who could or even would tell me anything about the Winterlands. I had to do that. Like, and to be fair, yeah, realistically, she should have had info. Did she follow any of it? No. But at least...
Yep.
But at least she kind of sort of knew what... Anyways. Regardless, Felicity's pissed, but, like, you enabled her to want to be alone and do shit in secret because you wanted to fuck off with your girlfriend, but regardless. So...
Girlfriend who's not your girlfriend.
Right. There it is. Okay. She's gonna do it. Okay. So Felicity tells Gemma that Cersei never helps people. Like, she doesn't do anything for free, so what did you offer her? What was her price? And Gemma doesn't say anything, and then Anne goes, oh, the price was magic. And Felicity just starts, like, cackling. And then she's like, are you kidding me? Like, you gave her magic? Like, what the fuck? I'm telling Gemma that it is incredibly likely that Cersei killed Mina, and is telling Gemma shit to, like, make her look like a fool. Like, you are an idiot for believing her. Gemma then shoves Felicity, saying, if you know so much, why don't you fucking try having all the power and having to do this shit? And, like, that is fair. Like, you can sit here and tell me how you would handle things, but, like, you don't know if you're not in this situation. At which point Felicity basically says that she wishes she could have the power, telling Gemma that if she were the one in charge, Felicity would have immediately made an alliance with Pippa and the rest of their friends. Gemma laughs at her.
That would have been such a bad choice as well.
Gemma laughs at her and goes, if Pippa's so trustworthy and reliable, where is she? At which point, Felicity fucking slaps Gemma so hard she busts her lip open.
Damn.
And basically, they just are simmering at each other, and then Felicity turns and leaves. Anne...
Back of that hand taste.
Right. Anne offers Gemma, like, a handkerchief, and it's just like, you probably shouldn't have said that about Pippa. And so, Gemma swats her hand away and says, don't tell me what to do. And Anne basically turns and just leaves.
You're gonna look at me and tell me that I'm wrong?
Right.
No.
So they get back to the castle. Pippa and the rest of the factory girls are outside. It's good. So Pippa and the rest of the factory girls are outside. Gemma notes that the girls are not looking well at all. All of their hair is matted together.
Did they ever look really look well?
No, but they look really bad. So they, especially bad.
Extra crispy?
No, their hair is matted together and their skin has a yellowish hue that Gemma describes as fruit that has gone off.
So lemon pepper.
So they look like they're rotting, basically.
Aww.
So...
Is Pippa sacrificing them?
I don't know. So they get Pippa and the girls...
Spoilers.
Brought up to speed with what's happening. Pippa legit doesn't care. She's like, okay, well, the forest folk are killing each other. They don't want to partner with us. I don't give a fuck. So Felicity then asks where they've been. And Pippa just shrugs and says that they were in the forest picking berries. Felicity says, we looked everywhere for you. Where were you? And Pippa goes, maybe you were too busy with your real life outside of the realms to look for me properly. So then Felicity, who is obviously hurt by this, she brought ostrich feathers for Pippa as, like, a gift, because that's something that she probably would have worn to her debut. So, like, Felicity wanted her to, like, have a piece of that. So she gives them to Felicity. And Pippa is incredibly ecstatic. And then she tells the factory girls, let's throw a ball. Like, we can, like, all of us can make our debuts. Like, let's go. Also, spoilers, during this, like, ball where the factory girls get to make their debuts, Pippa is the queen. Like, she's sitting on a throne while the girls come in and curtsy for her. Instead of her being a part of the debut, she's the queen. Pippa's thrilled. Pippa then asks Gemma, will you help with the ball? Gemma says that they'll have to do it without her because she's not in a festive mood. Because why would she be? Sorry, I can't sit still.
You're good. We've been at this for a while, girly.
So Gemma says she can't help. She's not festive. They'll have to do it alone. And then Pippa says, okay, no worries. And then she unleashes magic and turns the castle into like just a beautiful castle. Also, throughout this entire book, the castle's slowly being eaten by like those thorny vines from the beginning. They're slowly like creeping up the castle walls. The castle every once in a while will shudder and groan from the pressure of being like constricted.
Purple poison, purple violet.
Yeah. So Pippa turns around and just wave of the hand, does this big huge magic trick that she by right shouldn't be able to do because Gemma hasn't given her magic today. So like, how is she even doing that? Anne asks Pippa how that was possible. Pippa tells them that the magic is changing and Gemma isn't the only one with power anymore. Felicity asks Pippa if she's able to gift magic. Pippa snidely says, not yet, but when I can, I will share it immediately and without hesitation. Gemma obviously is like, can I talk to you? And like pulls her aside and is like, what the fuck is going on? Pippa tells Gemma she thought Gemma would be happy for her because now Gemma isn't alone. Pippa then goes on to tell Gemma that while she doesn't approve of Gemma meeting with Cersei, Pippa is prepared to forgive her. Pippa explains that she's been reborn and can now see everything so clearly, telling Gemma that there will be changes around here before kissing Gemma's cheek. So she's like, there's gonna be some changes around here, and then like leans in and kisses Gemma. Gemma notices that Pippa's eyes are like shifting back and forth between violet and milky, like kind of like a mirage. Pippa continues saying that she's had a vision of her own. There will be a new empire, and anyone that isn't with them is against them. And obviously anyone sick, poor, or deformed isn't welcome. Oh, also, so sorry, forgot to note, one of the reasons Wendy was so distraught is that her bunny's gone. It would seem that Pippa's vision has turned her into a fascist. Pippa takes Gemma by the arm and tells Gemma that she isn't sure what to do with the littlest factory girl, Wendy, telling Gemma that she's become quite a burden, saying that the little girl cries all the time, saying that she's hearing screams. Pippa's tried to beat it out of her, but she keeps saying but she just wants to be contrary. So, like, Pippa's tried to beat her into saying she doesn't hear the screams anymore, but Wendy is like, I'm scared and I'm hearing screams. Anyways, so Pippa then quickly shifts the topic. Gemma, asking Gemma when she will go with Pippa back to the Winterlands. Because isn't it so fun being there? Gemma, is like, girl, it sounds like you've been going there without me. Like, what do you mean? And Pippa just smiles and says like, oh no, I'd never do that. And then, let's see. At one point, Gemma basically asks about the bunny, and she's like, oh, the bunny just chewed through its cage. It's just a bunny. Who cares? Like, it's not a big deal. So...
She ate the fucking bunny, didn't she?
So someone calls for Pippa. She tells Gemma that her subjects are awaiting. She asks Gemma if she's coming, but Gemma says that she's not in the mood to dance. Pippa pouts and says, pity. And then her eyes turn into like a milky white. Side quest from here. The bunny is missing. When confronting Pippa, Gemma asks if Pippa had something to do with the bunny. And she just says, it's a bunny, it won't be missed. Gemma goes to see Cersei after confronting Pippa. Cersei confirms for Gemma that it's very likely that Pippa used the bunny to create a pact with the Winterlands to get magic. While visiting Cersei, at that point, Asha approaches Gemma concerned that the Hajin are being accused of murder. Gemma snaps, telling Asha that there's no safety anymore. So Asha's basically like, we wanted out of this so we would be safe, but now we're being accused of murder. And she's basically like, wake the fuck up. Nowhere is safe. No one is safe. There's no safety here right now. So let's see. Oh, and then she snaps at Asha and is like, oh, and did you tell your people that you declined magic on their behalf? So someone is like, is that true? And she says that she's concerned about the Hajin having magic because they accepted themselves as they are now. They all live in one caste. And if people have magic and are able to alter their physical appearances, Asha is concerned that they'll start to develop prejudices against each other. And she is really concerned about like people taking advantage of others in the group, whereas like everyone's currently living as one like unit, everybody's equal. She's worried that magic will cause a divide between people. So she said that she's more concerned about her people. Her people are more concerned about being able to have a voice. So they're not really worried about, like, the people aren't mad that they can't have magic, but inherently by not having a seat at the table to get magic, they don't get a voice either. And so it's like you're sacrificing our voice just to keep us all equal. And it's like, but you also don't even know that that's what's going to happen to us if we do get magic, right? You're making assumptions type of thing. So when Gemma returns to the girls, Wendy begs Gemma to take her home with her. She's like, can you please take me to the real world? I don't like it here. I'm scared. I don't want to be here anymore. And Gemma, she's too scared to be in the castle without her bunny, and no one comes for her when she needs them. And Gemma basically says, I'm going to be back really soon, but I'm sorry, I can't take you with, like, it's just not possible. Like, I have no way to do that. So as Gemma and co are leaving, Felicity and Anne realize that they're able to conjure the door on their own. So they don't need Gemma anymore, basically. They're literally so giddy about this, so that they're jumping up and down saying that Gemma's not their only path to get back to the realms now, because they can do it on their own. Gemma is sent to the chapel. Fast forward, blah, blah, blah. Go to the chapel, get a hymnal. The French teacher's like, go. So she goes. She's supposed to take Cecily, one of the like bitch girls, or maybe it's a different bitch girl, I don't know. Regardless, she's supposed to take one of the bitch girls. But the girl like is literally weeping at the thought of having to go outside in the dark, even though like Gemma's with her. So Gemma's like, just fucking sit in the kitchen then. So Gemma goes out by herself. Okay. She goes outside. She enters the chapel. She gets the book. The door slams shut. Someone tells Gemma to stay. Gemma asks who's there, and she finds that the stained glass angel is speaking to her. The angel tells her to stay in the chapel, telling her that the forest is not safe presently, but that they will protect her as long as she stays inside. She more or less says like, fuck that. Like, 'cause she's like, why are you talking to me?
You're glass. What are you going to do?
Right. And, so she's like, absolutely not. And she like takes off. But before she does, the angel very much begs her to stay, telling her they are in the woods. Telling her again, like, I want to protect you. There's something out there. Do not leave this chapel. Please let me help you. They say, if you are sacrificed, all is lost. Like, please, like, you dying affects more than just you. I need you to stay here.
I don't listen to people around me. What makes you think I'm gonna trust
if she
a
died,
window?
would the magic die too?
If she dies, the Winterlands get exclusive rights to the magic, meaning that they can not only rule the realms, they get to rule the world. Like, so it's more than just the realms at stake at this point, because if they have magic, they get to come and go as they please. And like, obviously they aren't super nice to people.
Yeah.
So obviously we know Our Lady is a level-headed queen. So she drops her lamp and takes off into the night. Without her lamp, she can't see where she's going. She hears the Romani dogs like going nuts back over at the camp. And she is hit in the face with a tree branch as she's like frantically looking around and trying to like get through, but then she sees something in the woods moving, almost like something's in the woods. So from out of the woods behind the tree steps two of the construction workers, the missing construction workers, which honestly, two construction workers in the woods in the dark with a 16-year-old is like objectively not fucking good regardless of this, but they are in fact two that have gone missing, which by now we have probably deduced that they were taken, if not sacrificed, by winterling creatures. Gemma notices that the men look strange in the moonlight. She begins to slowly back away from them. She tells the men that everyone's been worried about them, like, where have you been? Everybody's been looking for you.
And why do you look like gangrenous?
Right. And then Gemma, like,
lacking vitamin C.
She also says that like she can
Derby.
see their bones through their skin, you know?
Oh yeah. They're fucked.
So Gemma hears the branches above her flutter. She looks up and notices that there's just crows gathering overhead, like right over above her. And she hears a voice inside of her head tell her to hide. It's almost as if she should have stayed inside the chapel. Who knew? She then hears something move next to her, and when she looks, one of the men that was in front of her is now standing directly next to her. Okay, so standing next to her, they tell her that they've come back for her. The crows begin causing a whole fucking ruckus. The man next to her grabs her by the cape, but she undoes the clasp and takes off. Unfortunately, she is in fact running away from Spence because they're blocking her path to Spence, so she's running deeper into the woods. Okay, she is running hard and fast to the chapel. She hears something gaining on her, and then she hears horses riding towards her. She slams in the chapel doors, but they won't open. She's trying to yank on the doors, but then she notices that the dog barks are getting louder. She looks over. She realizes that the commotion of whoever was chasing her and the crows has stopped, and she sees a bunch of lanterns coming through the woods. So the Romani have been patrolling the woods to keep the girls safe, and they heard something going on, and the Romani have like come out of the woods to help her. So Kardik calls her name. He quickly comes up to her side. Kardik asks what she saw, what happened. She tells him it was the missing men. The Romani then begin to fan out to search the woods for them, like, because okay, we're having a lot of drama because these guys are missing, let's find them and take them back to the construction workers basically, but also like why are they trying to like bother this young girl? So they fan out, they're searching the woods. Gemma explains everything to Kardik, but then they hear a blood-curdling scream coming from the camp. Kardik tells Gemma to stay put and hauls ass back to camp. Obviously Gemma is not going to be doing that. Obviously she's gonna follow. So she just got attacked in the woods in the dark. Like, at minimum she's gonna follow you just so she's not alone still, you know? Anyway, so she comes back to camp. Unfortunately, camp isn't safe either, because it's a whole lot worse than creatures from the realms. It is white men who are...
It is white men!
So the construction workers, led by Miller, are in the camp. They are ransacking it. They're grabbing women out of their tents and pulling them out into the night. They're like stuffing shit in their pockets. They're like fucking tearing everything up. The situation basically continues to escalate until Miller shoots a couple shots into the air. He demands to know where the missing men are. But like, honestly, if you're searching for the missing men, why are you pulling women from their beds? Why are you fucking stuffing shit into your pockets? If you're just looking for your missing men, wouldn't you just look for your missing men? So let's see. Okay. Gemma demands that he stop at once, but he starts laughing. And he says, or what, are you gonna pour me tea? Because he's like, you're a girl from the school, what are you gonna do about it, bitch? And then she tells him that the Inspector Kent is at the school, and he is. And she says, I'll send for him if you don't stop. And then he basically tells her, like, you won't send for him because you're not fucking going anywhere. Two of the construction workers come up to her to grab her. Kardik obviously is like, I wouldn't fucking do that if I were you, and then like hauls off and starts like punching them. Gemma takes this opportunity to creepy crawl her way into the foreman's mind. She starts talking shit to him. She's telling him that she knows what kind of man he is. She is basically like, I remember that time when you were a kid and you did this to a cat. Like, she's like really just like fucking going off on him in his mind and getting into his head. So he starts screaming and asking if anyone else can hear that. Everyone looks at him like, what are you talking about? And then he takes off into the woods because he's a little bitch. At this point, the Romani are not looking very friendly at Gemma because, like, not only is it her fault that, like, technically her fault that, like, the magic shit is happening, but, like, you kind of are just making shit bad. Like, you're just here, there's people disappearing, like, this is all your fault because people are after you. Like, I need you to get the fuck out. Like, you're cursed. Please leave. Mother Elena approaches Gemma, though, and she tells Gemma that she is the one that brought the curse upon them. The rest of the women set about and start, like, cleansing camp, basically, like, just burning stuff, saging. Kardik tells Gemma that the men she saw must have been the men heading towards camp. So he's like, those weren't the missing men. Those were just construction workers on the way to camp that just happened to notice you. But when she asks... Oh, and then she's like, well, how do you explain the talking window? Like, because he's like, you were just seeing things. And she's like, but a window was fucking talking to me. Like, okay, cool. Those were men from the camp. But, like, the window told me that there was something in the woods. Like, you can't really explain that part away.
Yeah, she doesn't want to think back on the dream.
Yeah. And then as she's kind of arguing with him about this, he's like, oh, that must have been a vision. And then they are arguing, but then they turn around and more lanterns are coming through the woods at the camp. It's Nightwing, the inspector, and McCleathy. They make their way towards camp. A couple of the stable boys are with them. So they basically, like, grab the men, and they're like, Nightwing's like, we're going to go fucking find out where the hell this girl is because shit's going down. She should have been back by now. Also, the, like, fucking hoe she left in the kitchen told Nightwing, because when Nightwing came and saw her in the kitchen, she's like, I was out there and Gemma ran off and left me by myself. So, like, Nightwing is, like, furious because she's like, why did you leave her outside? And Gemma's like, she left me. Like, what do you mean? But anyways, so they're, like, coming through to camp. Basically, as soon as Nightwing sees Gemma, her face, like, you can just see physically her face change from, like, oh, thank God, to, like, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass, girl. So she's like, thank God you're okay. I'm going to kill you. So she then is scolding her for running off. Inspector Kent is more concerned, obviously, with the gun. And he goes, who's shooting and why? Gemma basically breaks down the situation to him. He's, like, fucking pissed. He's like, I'm gonna go fucking confront them. And then Kardik says, while you're doing that, can you check for our missing dude? And then the inspector goes, what do you mean a missing dude? You thought the construction workers took your friend and you didn't tell me? And Kardik's like, nobody cares when a brown person goes missing. And he's like, I fucking care. Like, and it's like, okay, cool. We like you, I guess. But, like, also, but he's just like, you should have told me sooner. Like, I could have kept this shit from happening. Like, I could have gone and talked to them. I could have searched for your friend type of thing. He's like, why didn't you tell me? Like,
sorry, we didn't think we could trust the 5-0.
Which is fair, but generally speaking, Spence has a good opinion of the Romani, and Kent listens to his woman. So it's like, if she's vouching for you and saying that you guys are good people, and, like, they clearly care about you guys, like, why would I not care to, like, at least go look, especially if they're causing trouble? No, he's with the French teacher. I don't know how to say her name. Don't make me.
It's not McCleathy, right?
No.
Okay, good. She's baddie. Oh, she's with the other guy.
Yeah. Okay, so the workers' camp is going to be searched top to bottom. The foreman will be answering for ransacking the camp, threatening the Romani, and, like, discharging a firearm, basically. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to go get their ass. So moving over to a happy little side quest. The next day from this, Anne and Gemma make their way back to the theater, and as Anne... the composer basically had, there was, like, a flyer for open auditions to, like, the composer is putting on, like, a play, or, like, a musical. So there was a flyer for open auditions. Gemma and Anne go. The composer that was flirting with Anne specifically is the one that's there. Anne and Gemma see him outside leaving the theater, and so Gemma calls over to him. And he's like excited to see Gemma. And he comes up and he goes, "Where did your friend Nan go? Like, we were waiting for her to show up and she never showed up." And so he's like, "We thought that she just like ran off. What happened?" And then
Who's your horrid friend?
no, but basically, the story is like, oh, Nan got engaged and she like ran off, and he like has a really big smile on his face, and he's like, "That's what we thought happened." But like I'm glad that she's okay, and I'm glad that she found happiness. But like, what a bummer type of thing. And so let's see. Anne compliments him on his talent. Wait, hang on. Oh, Anne compliments him being talented, basically saying like Nan and Gemma have absolutely been gushing over how talented you are. And she tells him that she was really hoping to audition, and follow up saying that she can sing and read. She's like, "I was really hoping to audition for you. I'm multifaceted."
Double threat.
The man with the composer basically looks her up and down and goes, "She's not really easy on the eyes." And then the composer said it's called Married Maids, not Gorgeous Girls. It's about her talent. It's not about how she looks. Like, I don't give a fuck. The performers aren't there to be eye candy. Like, it doesn't matter. So he does tell Anne that she is an hour and a half late for the open auditions, though. And he's like, "You're late. Sorry. We're going to go get drinks, but I really hope you come see the show." And as they turn to leave, Anne yells out saying, "I'll sing right here. Like, I'll do it here right now if you just give me a minute of your time." And so the composer just gets like this really big smile on his face because he likes her gumption, and he's like, "Your audience is waiting." So she begins singing, and as she's singing, a small crowd forms around them. Gemma notes that she's never heard Anne sound this good. She's like, "This is the most beautiful she's ever sounded." The composer, his smile just gets bigger and bigger as she's singing. And then he's like, "Man, you actually sound a lot like Nan, but even better." Don't
get engaged and run off.
Huh?
Don't get engaged and run off.
He does in fact say that. But he goes, the guy who was like, "She's kind of ugly," basically goes, "Rehearsals are in May. If you're a minute late, you're not getting another chance," basically. Like,
okay, what exact time in May? Right.
But they're like, "Okay, you have the job, like, don't be late and you're golden, and don't run off like Nan did." Legitimately. I wanted to add that because A, I kind of skip over Anne a lot, and B, it feels like a lot of people aren't maybe going to get the best ending, so I wanted to celebrate a win for our ladies. But yeah,
get it in.
She like writes off to her cousins and said that she's not coming back and stuff, so like she truly did it. She flew the coop. So Emma,
fuck your kids.
Huh?
Fuck your kids.
Right. Fast forward, Gemma goes to visit Eugenia's grave at Spence. She asks the grave to tell her where to find the dagger. Of course, because she feels like she's talking to herself, that means that Kardic's there listening to her. So they make up. But he tells Gemma that he's still going to leave and return to India. Like, "I'm glad we're on good terms. Like, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done that to you. Like, it was really fucked of me, but I still gotta go." And so she is upset by this, but she basically is like, "I hope you have a good life," type of thing. And then she sees Mina. Mina walks up to Gemma, pissed as fuck, grabs her, drags her, throws her into an open grave. And then Gemma hears Eugenia beg Gemma to save them. And then Gemma is out of the grave, sitting next to the headstone. She's covered in dirt. And it occurs to her that tomorrow is the birth of May. It's the May 1st. So Gemma's like, "Oh shit, tomorrow is the birth of May." So Gemma makes her way back inside. She finds Felicity sobbing.
Wait, sorry, did Mina just run off? Like, get in the grave, bye.
Yeah, no, she's mad as hell, drags her, throws her in the grave. Gemma's freaking out because like dirt's falling in on her. She's feeling claustrophobic, and then all of a sudden she's sitting on top of the grave. She's covered in dirt, but the grave isn't open anymore. But it was essentially Eugenia's grave that she was thrown into.
Drippy woo woo.
Yeah, it's almost like Mina is pissed at Gemma for not catching her hints. So Gemma makes her way back inside. Felicity's sobbing. She's received a letter from her mother telling her that Lady Markle has only agreed to sponsor Felicity as long as Felicity marries her son. Who, you know, side note, at Felicity's ball, he was literally following her all over the ball. Like, at one point she comes up to Gemma and Gemma's like, you got like a lost puppy, huh? And she's like, he won't leave me alone. Like, she's like, he's annoying and he won't leave me alone. And now she has to marry him. So Felicity begs Gemma, like, can we please hold on to the magic until my debut? Like, please, that can't be my life. I can't do that. So Gemma says that she'll try, but it's, you know, it's the birth of May, so she thinks it's the 1st of May. So she's like, I literally have to make my alliance today. Like, I have to do this today. So she'll like tell Felicity she'll try, but she kind of knows that there's not really shit she can do about it. And also, I get it, but like, I hate that she keeps making promises to her friends that she knows she can't keep. And it is hard to tell people no, but like, you don't have a choice. But also, it's like, it's honestly 10 times worse for you to promise something and then not do it, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So Gemma is in her room. She's going through her things when she realizes that Mina's slate is oddly heavy for a slate. She pushes aside, a latch pops open, and inside is a dagger. Almost like the hidden object trick that was in the book. So it's May 1st. Masquerade is happening. Gemma is very sensibly dressed in a tunic, pants, and boots, and she has the dagger at her hip. Her brother calls her Gemma of Arc. But he's like making fun of her. He's like, what are you supposed to be? So during the ball, Folson approaches her. He warns her to stay. Oh, she warns him to stay away from her family, who her entire family's at the ball. Grandma, dad, brother. Folson says that he's not there for her or her family, and then he asks if she's seen Kardik around. So she takes off outside to find Kardik at the boathouse. She warns him that Folson is there looking for him, and she tells him to hide. He just stands up and smiles and says, I finally finished the Odyssey. Would you like to read it? He then tells her, like, I have no interest in hiding anymore. Like, it is what it is at this point. And that he really just needs to know about Amara at this point. Like, that's his only, like, concern. So she said, are you ready to go then? And he said, yeah, let's go. So he said, I wouldn't say I'm ready, but I do need to. So she takes his hand and she takes him to the realms. They are in the garden and he's very much like fully in awe. And so she takes him over to the Cave of Sighs. Once inside the cave, he is like marveling at the carvings, because outside the cave is like big carvings of like just naked women, not in like a sexy way, but you know, like an empowering way. And he's like in awe, and he just looks at her and goes, it's just like India. And she just smiles and she's like, it is, isn't it? So let's see. They get inside the cave. He's looking at more carvings. He's just really like just amazed at everything he's seeing. And then he recognizes the dream circle, and he goes, oh, that's the symbol for love. And she tells him that if they place their hands together, they can go into each other's dreams, supposedly. He's intrigued, and he puts his hand on the wall, but like outside of the circle. He also then tells her that because she asks like how he knew it was a symbol for love, and he says there's no beginning and no end. Like, you can't tell where it begins or it ends. Like, the circle is like a forever type of thing. So she puts her hand inside the circle. He puts it next to the circle. And then she starts to feel embarrassed, like, I just shot my shoot.
I shooted my shot.
Yeah, and maybe I should move my hand. But before she pulls her hand away, he like very just slowly reaches into the circle and places his hand next to her. He's not quite touching her, but he very clearly like reaches fingers out towards her fingers. And then she's in his dream. She's dressed in a bride's wedding sari. Her arms are covered in gold bangles. Her hands and her feet are covered in intricate patterns. The sari is a deep purple, but as she moves, it shifts from orange to red to silver to indigo. In front of her are girls dancing, dressed in bright yellow. They throw rose petals in the air before they clear a path for her to move forward. In front of Gemma is the mouth of an ancient temple, and then she sees below her is like an incredibly long staircase. She says it's thousands of stairs. She begins to descend. Everything fades away, and she's standing alone in a desert. She then sees him. He's sitting before her on a horse. He starts riding towards her. He's dressed in all black. The horse is painted. He's wearing a garland around his neck with a marking on his forehead to symbol that he's a groom. He smiles and he offers her his hand. As she takes his hand, everything shifts and they are now standing together in a lotus garden. He takes a knife out and begins to draw a circle around her in the sand, telling her that the circle symbolizes the joining of their souls. He traces 7 circles and then steps into the circle to stand beside her. He places his hand on the back of her neck before pulling her in for a kiss. He growls her name, and then he asks if she's sure. And in this moment, she feels like known by a person for the first time. And she doesn't feel fractured. She doesn't feel lost. She feels like just so sure of herself for the first time ever. The dream continues. I'm going to cut to black because we know where that's going and I don't want to talk about that. And so Gemma wakes up and she's standing in the cave with Kardik. Their fingers are barely touching and she begins wondering if he was in her dream or if she was in his dream and did he even have the same dream? Like she's just like, what just happened type of thing. He then puts his finger under her chin and lifts her gaze up to his. He asks if she dreamed as well, and then they kiss. They sit together and they talk about everything and nothing. When they emerge from the cave, Asha approaches them and tells them that the Gorgon has arrived to speak with her. As Gemma and Kardik approach the Gorgon immediately apologizes to Gemma, saying, I know you told me not to come find you, but this is so important. And then Gemma just feels embarrassed for how rudely she treated the Gorgon, and so she said, no, I shouldn't have said that to you, like don't even worry about it, type of thing. The Gorgon shares that she's made her way into the Winterlands and she needs to show Gemma something that she saw while she was there. They obviously get on the Gorgon, they go into the Winterlands. The nymph that had lured her into the cave is like laying on the banks next to the cave. And she goes over to the nymph and she's cold, like something has killed her. And then let's see. Oh, she has like a long red wound across her neck, like someone slit her throat. And so she asks the Gorgon, do you suspect the Winterling creatures did this? And she tells Gemma that she thinks it was something far greater than that and beyond anything I can even imagine. The Gorgon then asks Gemma what Gemma would like to do. Gemma requests to see further into the cave, so the boat takes her further into the cave. But she tells Gemma that she can only be here for a short amount of time without being detected. So if Gemma, like, if you're gonna look around, I need you to maybe do some protective work type thing, like, because
Play the protective barrier.
she's like, we can be here as long as you want, but like we will be found if we don't do something about it. So okay. Gemma's like, okay, bet I'll give you and Kardik magic and then we can all like work a spell together because I'm literally transforming a whole boat and I need to hold this for a long time, so I'm gonna need help. Gorgon says, absolutely not, I cannot have magic. Like, don't give me that magic, don't tempt me, like, no, absolutely not. And then okay, so I already did that part about the like freed and not freed. She's worried that she'll become a murder machine. Yeah, so it's very much giving like Doctor Who, but specifically like Gorgon as the war doctor, more or less. Gemma tells the Gorgon that she's like, girl, I need your help, like fucking quit doing the shit. And so the Gorgon agrees, and she will only agree to have magic if Gemma promises under no circumstances will she let the Gorgon free herself, type of thing. Like, I'll do this, but I need you to really have my back on that, girl. So Gemma's like, okay, cool, bet, let's go. they basically decide on an illusion, and they all hold hands, obviously not hold hands with the Gorgon, but and then they touch the boat. And then Gemma and Kardik are two ghouls, and then the Gorgon is like a decrepit Viking ship, basically. They sail off into the Winterlands to figure out what is going on. They shortly arrive at a war camp. Gemma notices all kinds of creatures there. They're all gathered. They're all organized. A creature halts the Gorgon and asks Kardik and Gemma if they have arrived for the ritual. Kardik nods, and they disembark the ship. They are then led to the Tree of All Souls, which is surrounded by creatures. Amara standing in the middle. 3 souls are brought forward. So like human souls that have passed on, they're brought over to the tree. Amar announces that the more sacrifices, the more power grows. He then strikes the 3 souls down. They watch in awe as the tree begins to grow. And then like above the tree is like this swirling red, and it also keeps getting bigger. Like the sky is basically breaking open as the tree gets larger. Amar goes on to say that freedom is within reach, saying that she has set the plan in motion. All the pieces are coming together. When she gives the word, they will sacrifice the great and terrible priestess. Had to do that one more time. Sorry, guys. And then both worlds, the realms and mortal lands, will fall to the Winterlands. And with that, someone then sniffs the air and says, "The living are among us." Chaos breaks out because all of the creatures just start accusing each other, and they basically start murdering each other. The issue with the fact that basically like a mass murder has broken out here is that as things die around the tree gets bigger and more powerful. So this is not going good. Gemma obviously assumes that the she in question is Circe. So her and Kardik basically sneak off. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So chaos is happening. People are murdering. Amar is basically trying to get people to fucking stop because, like, also you're my army. Like, I need you guys alive. Please stop killing each other. They get back on the Gorgon. Let's see. Oh, she asks Gorgon to take her to Fionn, and tell them. Oh no, go to Fionn and tell the forest folk what we saw here. And tell them I'll be back tonight and we'll join hands. Basically, like, I need to go get Felicity and Anne because we got to do this right now. So go tell Fionn we're going to do this right now. Okay. Gemma returns to the ball. She gets Anne and Felicity off in private. She tells them what happened and that they need to go to the realms and they need to shut the shit down because it's bad. Gemma's basically like, it's worse than any of us could have possibly thought it was going to be. We have to finish this now. And so Felicity starts to say, okay, we need to get Pippa. But Gemma is like, no, we're not doing that. I don't know that she's a creature of the Winterlands, but absolutely not. Like, she's clearly not right. Gemma then tells them what she had seen in the Winterlands because she grabs them and she's like, we gotta go tonight, but she didn't tell them why. And now she's like, I was there with Kardik and this is what we saw. And so obviously Felicity fucking loses her goddamn mind. She goes on to shout that the realms belong to them. They don't belong to him. Basically, like, how dare you take him in without us? How dare you take him in without even asking us? And like, this should have been a conversation before you just often did that. And then Gemma's really trying to get through to Felicity, but she just says, you don't care what your friends think, and Pippa warned me that you were going to do this. Gemma is like, context please. And Felicity tells Gemma, why don't you go ask Kardik since you trust him so much?
Thanks, bitch.
Right, thank you.
Enjoy your corrupted girlfriend.
Right.
Who's gonna betray you?
Also, the fact that her and Kardik have joined hands in the circle, they are now like fated mates, basically. Like, they're connected for the rest of ever. And they have more or less also gotten married. Like, they
Spiritually married
and consummated. So I said dream husband, and the deep-seated urge I had to call him her dream daddy. So anyways, Felicity is doing the same. Oh, she's doing the same thing though. She's basically siding with like her partner over like Gemma anyways, but like she gets really mad at Gemma for doing that. It's crazy. And at least Gemma is not one-sided, you know, like her partner actually likes her.
But she is two-faced.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry, Felicity's two-faced. Never mind.
Yeah. Anyways, Gemma's pissed because she literally could have just done this without them. And she didn't. She's like, I could have made the pact without you guys, but I came to get you. Like, I care about you. I care about what you think. I came back. Like, it needed to be done right away, and I took the time to come back for you, basically. So, let's see. Okay. Basically, Felicity's like, Pippa told us that you wouldn't want to share the magic with us, and you never meant to share it with us. At least it's not the same with Pippa. She'll share hers. So also it's fucking blood magic, but sure, queen. With that, Felicity and Anne conjure the door and they go to the realms and they leave Gemma. This doesn't necessarily matter per se, but girlfriend, there's some badass stuff. Or not badass. I think I just like the quote because it's fucking stupid. So anyways, Gemma is making her way through the ball. They return from the realms. Kardik was like really shaken, so he took the fuck off. Gemma reached out to take his hand. He was not having it because he like, I mean, he just saw his brother like basically as a warlord and stuff. So that was a lot. So she's worried that he's not going to come back. So like she took the time to come back for Felicity and Anne, but they left without her. And Kardik is like really distraught. And she's like, am I going to have to fucking do this by myself? Like I can't do this by myself. I didn't want to do this by myself. I took precautions not to have to do this by myself, but here we are. So Gemma's like, shit, I'm alone. I got to finish this thing. What the fuck am I even going to do? I came here to get help, ended up with even less help than I came here with. So for whatever fucking reason, this girl thinks I'm going to ask Dad for help.
The laudanum drunk memory missing man.
She thinks her dad's going to help. Not a clue why she thinks this, but when she finds and approaches her father, she sees that he's standing there with Lord Denby. So she's like, why the fuck is Lord Denby here? Like, he doesn't go here. He doesn't know anybody that goes here. Why is he here? So Gemma marches up to him and basically very directly in front of everyone goes, why are you here? And so her dad is like horrified. Like, this is an important person and you just came up and started yelling at him. Like, that's insane. You shouldn't do that in private either. But like, what is wrong with you? Yes, and this is why it made it into the script. She walks up and says, why are you here? Her dad goes, Gemma, that's incredibly rude of you. And Denby looks at her father and says, that is what comes from empowering women. They become dangerous.
True. Not the way he means it.
Damn fucking right. So also, yeah, who are we dangerous to? Like, perhaps
status quo.
The people with their boots on their goddamn necks, but that's fine. Anyways, so and since I dragged everyone down this hallway, it is leading to Gemma taking her father into a private room. She lore dumps the last 2 2/3 of a book at him. Basically fills him in on mom. Like, she's fully honest about every little detail. And the entire time, he's like, this isn't funny. I don't want to hear this. This isn't funny. You need to stop. And so, since he won't listen to her and he won't, like, believe her, she decides, let's see. She decides to basically use her magic on him. She's really, really frustrated. She's also just like, I'm telling you the truth about mom. But he's very much like, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to know this. This isn't funny. And she's like, I'm telling you the truth about your wife. And he goes, I don't want to remember her that way. I don't want that memory of her. That's not the wife I knew. I prefer my, like, picture perfect wife that I remember. So she is frustrated and decides that she will force him to believe her. She unfortunately used entirely too much magic to force all of this knowledge into his brain, at which point the knowledge begins to overtake her. She's feeling all of his feelings, all of his thoughts. Then she feels nothing. His mind goes completely silent. All she can feel is his cold hand in hers. He then collapses to the floor. He collapses to the floor. Eyes are wide open, and he's struggling to breathe.
Oh, God.
She runs
Did
to
she
get...
kill her dad?
No, but like... she almost did. She runs to go get Nightwing and Tom. Lord Denby pops his head in and goes, "Can I help?" And Gemma just loses it and says, "Don't touch my father." And again, everybody's like, "Girl, what are you doing? Like, this is Lord Denby." So then he says, "Oh,
Feisty!
You're marrying Dr. Poole. Hello.
yeah." So he goes, "Oh, she must be overcome with grief. This is too shocking for her. Let me take her up to bed." So he grabs her and she like whips her arm away from him. And she says, "Don't touch me." And then she takes off running. And she doesn't stop until she is back at the temple.
It's Tom, girl.
Okay. So she goes to the temple. She charges right in to confront Cersei. She tells Cersei that she knows what she's been up to. Gemma tells her she has the dagger now, so she's going to make things right. So Gemma's like, "I know what you've been up to. I have the dagger. I'm going to end this. Like, you lose. Like, I win, you lose. Fuck you." Gemma then tells Cersei that she will be joining her hands with the forest folk and the Hajin once they arrive, and the magic will be bound to the well again, and Cersei is going to die. So she's like, "I'm here. You're dead tonight. Like, fuck you." After Gemma has finished her like monologue, she hears a loud ripple from the well, and then one by one, the stones of the well are pushed out, and the water starts flowing out of the well. Gemma is too stunned to speak. So almost like giving Cersei power was maybe not the best move. But who would have thought that she had a plan? So Gemma asks, "How is this happening?" And Cersei tells Gemma that before she had Gemma give her magic, she had Gemma put a little bit of magic back in the well. Cersei has then been drawing on that power this entire time. And slowly she's been loosening the stones, like, this entire time. And Cersei tells Gemma, though, that Gemma's real mistake was giving Cersei power from her own free will, because the act of giving freely was all Cersei needed to actually get out of the well. Cersei then crawls out of the well. Gemma asks why Cersei waited all this time to free herself. Cersei tells her that she wanted more power. Cersei tells Gemma that she will now be going to the Tree of All Souls by herself. Gemma simply says that she's lost enough tonight. She draws the magic and lets it loose, shooting Cersei across into like the wall, slamming her into a wall. Gemma then uses the magic to lift the stones that fell out of the well and throw them at Cersei's face. Cersei is able to like stop the stones right before they hit her. She turns them into little shards. They fall on the floor. And then she tells Gemma like that she has very impressive power. And that Cersei wishes that they could have actually had a true friendship. Gemma tells Cersei that she's incapable of true friendship. Gemma then picks up a stone. Cersei quickly turns the stone into a snake. She tells Gemma that she must think and not react. Gemma then turns the snake into a whip and whips Cersei's face. Cersei tells Gemma that she can see Gemma has been searching those dark corners of her mind after all. Gemma is using her magic to bring Cersei to her knees, but then Gemma hears someone behind her calling her name. She turns around and she sees Cardick laying on the floor covered in blood. She lets Circe go to rush over to him, but he begins laughing and then he vanishes. As Gemma turns back to face Circe, Gemma is shot back and pinned against a wall. Circe tells Gemma that she too has been searching the dark corners of Gemma's mind. Gemma tries to use the magic to free herself, but she's fully lost control. Like, her emotions are too heightened, like she's not able to control the magic anymore. So anytime she tries to do something to Circe, it doubles back and like hits Gemma instead. So she's starting to see visions of her family and her friends and Lord Denby. Gemma's whole body begins to tremble. She isn't even able to like use her voice to call out for Asha to let her know like some bad shit's happening. Circe tells Gemma that this is a battle Gemma can't possibly win. Gemma manages to tell Circe she's going to kill her. Circe simply walks over to Gemma, grabs the dagger out of its sheath, thanks Gemma for bringing her the dagger. Circe then lets Gemma fall to the floor. She crouches down and smiles at Gemma, telling her that sometimes she wishes she could go back and change things in her life, make different choices, and maybe then she and Gemma could have met under different circumstances as different people. Circe then gently brushes the hair back from Gemma's face. She tells Gemma that she should be more careful with that magic. Now that she and Gemma have shared the magic has changed. There is no telling what might happen. She then kisses Gemma on the cheek and tells her not to be foolish and follow her, because it won't end well for Gemma if she does. With a wave of Circe's hand, Gemma is plunged into darkness. Gemma basically stumbles her way back to Spence. Like, she's hallucinating. She's not really sure what's happening. Like, she's delirious, but she ends up making her way back to Spence. And she's just walks into the ball. People are still there, and she's just making a whole fucking scene because she's still like hallucinating this entire time. So Bridget like basically pulls her ass aside, gives her something and knocks her out and puts her to bed. And then when she wakes up, she notices that Anne isn't in her bed. She knows Anne and Felicity must still be in the realms. She wants to warn them, but then she sees Ithel. He's like outside the window, and he tells her that she needs to come because Kardec has been taken and she needs to save him. So she goes out. She asks Ithel to take her to Kardec. He walks her through the woods. It's raining. He gets to his horse. She notices that he looks like really fucking awful. Like, his eyes are so like sunken in that he just looks like hollow. As he and Gemma climb up onto the horse, Gemma asks him where he's been. She's like sitting in front of him. He tells her that the men came for him. She asks if he means the construction workers, but he tells her that they don't have time to talk about it. While sitting close to him on the horse, she notices that against her back, he's like incredibly cold. Also,
what color's the horse?
Right. But also, like, she could win an award for like dumbest choices at this point, because like, oh, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
You were missing. I'm not going to question that.
You know, and this is also like one of the fucking cool ass scenes. So instead of taking her to Kardec, he takes her to a graveyard. She notices that he's chanting something, and she can't really hear it over the rain, but then she locks in and hears it, and he's chanting sacrifice. She flings herself off the horse while he's riding. Oh no, I'm so sorry. He's chanting sacrifice, and the horse is picking up speed, and he's running at like a pit with her on the horse. So she yeets herself off the horse. Just as he like rides the horse off of the edge into the pit, she notices that she doesn't hear the horse like hit the bottom, and then the horse and the pit are gone. She starts giggling to herself, thinking that she's gonna wake up soon, because she's like, this is too fucking weird. So she's like laughing, and she's like, God, this is a weird fucking dream. I can't wait to just like wake up and feel normal. But then she turns around to like leave, and she sees something is blocking the path. It's like really dark and raining, and she can't really make out what it is, but she sees something standing on the path. And then lightning flashes through the sky, and she sees that it's Ithel. With that, she takes off running. She's weaving her way through the tombstones. As Gemma's approaching Spence, Ithel is hot on her trail. She then notices that the roof is completely empty. The roof is covered in gargoyles typically, and not a gargoyle to be seen. Ithel's picking up speed. Just before he reaches her, she hears something incredibly large land behind her. So she like hears and feels something just land like with a huge thud. She doesn't want to turn around because she's fucking scared. She's like, what the fuck else is going to happen? But she can see a shadow in front of her of the thing behind her. It's landed. It rises. It's fucking huge. And then she sees wings come out.
Goliath from Disney's Gargoyles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Surprise tie-in.
Literally, yes. So, let's see. Gargoyles
Gargoyles
and psychics. It lands in the path. She's too frightened to turn around. She sees the shadow. Wings. Gemma then hears a loud shriek. Then a gargoyle lands on the path in front of her. She slowly sinks to the ground. The gargoyle reaches out with a clawed hand and wraps its claw around her waist. Like, that's how big it is like her waist fits in its hand. And then it tells her to hold on and pulls her close to its body and then takes off into the air. They fly and land on Spence's roof. She now sees a group of gargoyles have surrounded Ithel. And the gargoyle that brought her to the roof tells her not to look. He says, don't look. The gargoyles are going to do what they must, but you probably don't want to see what they're going to do.
And that's definitely not Jason Alexander's voice you hear.
Right.
Probably the Hunchback tie-in.
Shut up. The gargoyle explains that because the seal has been broken, the land is enchanted once again. Their gargoyles essentially have been at Spence to protect the order, like, for their entire lives, basically. Like, that's why they're there. And now that the land is enchanted again, they're able to protect her. They tell her that they can't protect her from what's already begun, though.
Everything after this, though, we're good. We got you.
Another gargoyle lands beside her, telling them that Ithel has been returned to the dead, but that they will be back and stronger. Gemma says to herself that she's dreaming. The gargoyle says yes. And then she wakes up. Like, yes, you've been sleeping, but it's time to wake up type of thing. And so the following afternoon, so basically she does end up waking up in her bed and Anne is laying next to her. The following afternoon, Felicity and Anne come to Gemma. And Gemma tells them that Circe has the dagger, and that she can no longer contain the magic alone. She tells them that they need to make the alliance. And love homegirl, but Felicity is so fucked for this, she starts having a tantrum. Because Gemma promised that she would wait until after her debut. Like, Gemma's basically like, we're about to lose the fucking war, and Felicity's like, but my debut. And it's like, I get it, and I don't want her to have that future that's set up for her, but like, we are legitimately talking about like the safety of the world, basically. Like, babe, this is bigger than you. I'm sorry, girl. I think you're gonna have to like run away.
Nothing's bigger than my ego.
It's like, it don't matter if you dead in the end.
Yeah, like none of that matters if you're not alive. So let's see. Yeah, she's like mad that she's not gonna wait until after the debut, but like, girl, are you even gonna have a debut at this point? Like, be so for real. Gemma tells her it's likely for Felicity to come away with magic of her own. Basically, like, you're going to get a portion of the magic. I want you there with me. That's why I came back for you, because I want both of you to have magic. I want you to share in this with us. It's so likely that you will have enough magic to change this on your own without me having to hold on to all of it to help you. And then Felicity basically says, but it's likely that I won't too. Like, it's just as likely that I won't have any magic at all to help myself, and that I'll be trapped. So,
But dead.
yeah, like, again, also feel for her because that's horrible, but like, she just cannot even see a little bit outside of herself at all, and it's so crazy. Gemma, like, just punch it. Gemma sincerely apologizes, but she tells Felicity that she can't help. Felicity calmly tells Gemma that she's not the only one with power. Pippa's getting stronger, and if Gemma won't help Felicity, then Pippa will. And, like, if you really thought that, then why are you even upset at Gemma, right? Because, like, if Pippa could help you and you don't need Gemma, why are you this mad? Like, fast forward, Kardec leaves a note for Gemma asking her to meet at the chapel. When she enters, she goes to the stained glass angel, tells it that she understands and that she isn't afraid anymore. Gemma hears a deep voice say, "Go forth and conquer." She jumps, and it's Kardec. Because he's a punk-ass bitch, always scaring that poor girl. She fills him in on what's been happening in the realms. He nods. She begs him to say something. And he more or less says, "I guess we know what the birth of May was about." Like, yeah, that shit went down on May 1st. That wasn't cool, huh? Like, guess we know what they were warning you about.
Mm-hmm.
Or do they? So he then tells Gemma that they'll need to go after Cersei. Gemma confides that she's terrified that she'll go mad if she even tries to use the magic again, because, like, it got her fucked up last time. Or that she will be bound to Cersei, because, like, they technically have now shared the magic, and she's like, I don't want to be bound to her or the Winterlands, and, like, I'm worried that if I go and try to use the magic, then that's what's gonna happen to me. He tells her, wait, hang on. He argues that it's all the more reason to go and try to stop her. Like, if you don't want to be bound to her in the Winterlands forever, then realistically we should probably go stop her, because that's, like, the surefire way to make sure that that doesn't happen. He tells her he's not running away again, and that it isn't his destiny to run anymore. She tells him that she thought he no longer believed in destiny, but he tells her that he's never stopped believing in her. Fast forward, Anne runs up to Gemma, fucking frantic. She tells Gemma that Felicity's gone with Pippa, and that she intends to stay roommates with her forever. When they get into the realms, they find that the temple is burning. Asha tells them that the forest folk came and set fire to it. They killed 20 of the Hajin while they were at it, basically. Like, the temple where they were supposed to join magic it's gone. Like, they can't even do that now. So Gemma is fuming because, like, dude, I was coming to do the thing and now you made it so nobody wins now. So Gemma goes to confront Fionn, demanding to know what the actual fuck. They tell her that it was revenge for the centaur. Gemma says the Hajin didn't kill him, and then asks how, even if they did, how is you taking 20 lives and their home retribution for one life? Like, that is overkill, like, quite literally, in actual use of that word. She's basically like, that, how is that justice even in the first place? And then Asha tells Fionn that the Hajin were not responsible for the murder, but they counter, basically, if not you, then who? But, like, also, if Fionn was able to clock so assuredly that Gemma had lied to him lied to them that one time, surely they have a sense that, like, when people are telling the truth, right? Like, that makes sense to me personally, but
they bluffing always,
right? So Asha tells them to look within for the answer. And then the hoe that, like, spit on Gemma, her name is Neela, and she is a shapeshifter, and she has been, like, the most heinous to Gemma every single time there's been these meetings. She's just fucking an instigator. She's always been, like, the leader of, like, we strike first type of thing. So anyways, Neela, it essentially is who killed the centaur to send them to war. Like, she did it on purpose. Oh, yeah, so she goes look from within, and then Neela freaks the fuck out, and begins throwing rocks at Gemma and at Asha, which, like, clearly that's not suspicious. So then Gemma asks Fionn how the hell they expect to join hands and share in the magic if there's no temple to even do that. And they basically says, sucks to suck, the survivors, I guess, are gonna end up with the magic. Like, we're going to war, and whoever is alive is the winner, basically. So Gemma tries to warn them about the Winterlands and Circe, as like this is a bigger than all of us type of thing. Like, we need to stop them, and we can't do that if we don't all have the magic. Like, we can't be out here fighting like this. Like, we can't be out here killing each other. There's something bad going on. We really need to do something about it. So Neela just like literally keeps freaking the fuck out and screaming that Gemma's a liar. Yeah, also the Fionn can clock lies. Like, why is he not clocking these lies? Gorgon tells Gemma that they've done all they can do, and they need to go find Pippa and Felicity. Basically, Gorgon's like, they're not listening, let's go. So Gemma gets to the castle. She tells Felicity that she can't actually think she's going to stay here. Like, you can't possibly be thinking that that's what you want to do right now. She tells Felicity that the realms are in chaos. The tribes are going to war. Pippa just shrugs, saying that nothing has come here, so why should they care if everyone else goes to war? Before turning around to ask the factory girls if they would like to have another ball. Basically, like, it's fine here, so I don't give a fuck. Who wants to dance? Gemma basically is like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Pippa just starts laughing and saying, let them fight. None of them are a match for me anyways. So, like, Pippa thinks that she's so powerful that if an army shows up at her door, it doesn't matter. Delusional. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, side note, the berry lore thing that I already dropped on you guys. And like every single time they've seen the factory girls since going to the Winterlands, it's like Dionysus up here. Like, Pippa is full on feeding everybody berries fucking constantly. Everybody's constantly covered in purple just from having berries like on their hands, their mouth, their teeth. Like, just everything is stained. She's constantly feeding them berries. And so she's giggling, sitting on her throne. Felicity sitting next to her. She's just eating berries. Pippa, obviously not Felicity. So Gemma asks Pippa if she told the factory girls that the berries are going to keep them from crossing over if they decided they wanted to do that. Pippa rolls her eyes and just starts laughing. And Gemma tells them that Pippa tried to cross over, but she couldn't. Felicity's flappers are gasted. She's like actually beyond hurt that Pippa had decided that she was going to leave and didn't even say anything to her about it. So Felicity is like, why wouldn't you tell me? Why wouldn't you say anything to me? And Pippa just ignores her. Felicity asks Gemma why that matters anyways. Pippa was saved for a higher purpose. She's basically, I don't care that I couldn't cross over because I had a greater purpose than crossing over. Because she's fully fucking delusional. Gemma then suddenly clocks that Wendy's gone. Gemma demands to know what happened to Wendy. Pippa shrugs and says she ran off, I guess. Gemma is not buying it. So she asks Pippa, is she going to tell her that Wendy chewed through her cage too? Just like the bunny.
Damn.
God damn. Alright, sorry.
What?
It took me elsewhere.
The whole music!
This is when we just tap one thing and everything is fucking haywire. I mean, obviously you're cutting all this out.
I'm really impressed with this.
All right. Okay, so are you gonna tell me that she chewed through her cage too? Pippa laughs and says, I'll tell you that if it amuses you. Gemma slams her hands down on a table that she's standing behind. She like slams down her hands and she's like, tell me what happened to Wendy. And Pippa stands up and hits Gemma with an or what? Like, what if I don't tell you? What are you going to do about it? So Pippa laughs. No, wait, just kidding. So Felicity tells Pippa, like, because Felicity's like, what is happening? She's like, can you be chill? Like, bitch, be cool. And then Pippa demands to know if Felicity's on Gemma's side. So, like, the second Felicity's like, what is happening? Pippa's like, oh, so now you're on her side? And Felicity's like, or Anne is like, why are there sides? Like, but also like, Anne, there's been sides kind of this whole time, girl, wake up. Anyways, so one of the factory girls very quickly pipes up and tells Gemma that Pippa took Wendy to the Winterlands, and when she came back, she was alone. Bessie then backhands that girl and knocks her to the floor and says, take it back. Pippa then tells the factory girl, no one likes a traitor. And again, the whole book, castle's being devoured by vines. Vines are like creepy crawling their way like presently, and like they're calcifying as they're moving. And so this big ass heavy vine goes across Gemma's foot and like kind of pins her foot to the ground. And she looks around and is like, what have you done? Like, why is this happening? Like, what is going on? Like, how do you have this power? Why are the vines doing this? Like, what is happening? And Pippa then just mocks Gemma, telling her that Gemma might be afraid of her powers, but Pippa isn't. Gemma asks Pippa if she made a pact with the Winterlands, and I mean, obviously, but Pippa basically says, what of it? Like, and at this point, Felicity shook because Felicity is so in denial about Pippa. But Pippa turns around and starts stroking Felicity's face, telling her that the creatures only ask for something that wouldn't even be missed. And then, look at all that's done for me, basically. Like, I killed a bunny, I killed a little girl who couldn't even see. Like, look at all the power Cersei. I have. Right. So let's see. Pippa says that, hang on. Okay. Basically, Gemma's just like, can you tell me one way or another, did you sacrifice Wendy? Like, she's very much just trying to get like an actual straight answer out of Pippa. So Pippa says that she's happy to tell Gemma whatever it is that she wants to hear. Gemma demands to hear the truth. After throwing some more berries into her mouth, she looks at Gemma in the eyes. Her teeth are dripping blue-black from all the berries she's been eating. And she just says, she was a burden. Felicity is like over it. She looks at, Pippa looks at Felicity and tells her that it's fine. She tells Felicity that the tree promised that the end of the order and a birth of something new, telling Felicity that it's their time to basically rise to power. It's also very much giving like Queen of Hearts, from Alice in Borderland specifically. Like, that's how I'm picturing Pippa's like mannerisms and how she's like talking. Do you remember?
I do. That wasn't how I was picturing things, but you read it and I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, because she's both being like, she's shifting from like laughing and thinking everything's funny to like just being like kind of scary, like, and just saying all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I'm picturing more like kind of crazed queen kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm more so picturing that specific, like, but like the calm kind of like giddy crazy that's like kind of really scary.
Between like, here's information and here's I'm clearly enjoying this.
Yeah.
But like two different personalities.
Mm-hmm. So Pippa begins giggling and she tells Felicity that she's the chosen one, and that she is the way. Basically, like, I'm the chosen one, I'm the leader, my way is the true path type of thing. All must follow her in order to become what she has become. Felicity gently grabs Pippa's face and makes Pippa look at her, and Felicity goes, what are you saying? Pippa abruptly pulls out of Felicity's touch. Pippa grabs a chalice of berries, and while making eye contact with Felicity, Pippa asks Bessie if she will follow her. Bessie says yes. Pippa puts a berry on Bessie's tongue. Felicity charges at Pippa and knocks the berries out of her hands. Pippa then shoves Felicity. Felicity shoves Pippa back even harder, and Pippa just begins cackling. Her eyes roll into the back of her head, her limbs begin to jerk violently, and Pippa falls to the ground. Once Pippa stills, she sits up, she's breathing heavy, she's covered in dirt, drool is running out of her mouth. Pippa looks around, she's confused, and then she asks Felicity what happened, because she just had a seizure, and she hasn't had one since she's been in the realm. So, she's kind of come back to herself after the seizure, and so Felicity like runs up to her and is like holding her and like stroking her hair, and she's like, "You had a fit, it's okay though." Pippa's lips begin trembling. She reaches towards Bessie to offer her another berry. The factory girl is terrified because like, what the fuck just happened? Like, also, they have never seen like Pippa have a seizure. So for like Anne and Felicity and Gemma, like this is just something that happens to her. But the factory girls are like, first of all, you go manic and then you like have a seizure. Like, they're kind of starting to get a little bit spooked by this. So they back away. They're very clearly scared of her. Pippa just keeps crying that she's special and she's chosen. Like, she just keeps saying that over and over again. I'm special, I'm chosen. And that the girls can't leave her, basically. Like, you have to stay with me because like I'm the chosen one. Pippa then throws her hands out and surrounds everybody with a wall of fire. Bessie looks at Pippa both with like awe and sheer terror, and then she drops to her knees, telling Pippa that she must have been touched by the hand of God. One by one, all of the factory girls drop to their knees, proclaiming that Pippa has created a miracle. The seizure has clearly amplified Pippa's powers for whatever fucking reason, and the factory girls are taking this as like just a sign that what Pippa's been saying is true. And then let's see. But Felicity knows what's going on. So while the like girls are basically worshiping her, Felicity grabs Pippa and tells her that she needs to explain to them what happened. Like, you know that's not what just happened. I need you to tell them. And Pippa just spreads her arms out, telling the girls that she will lead them to glory. Felicity again tells Pippa that she needs to be honest with them about what just happened. Pippa pulls away from Felicity and moves towards the factory girls. She says, "This was meant to be, and this is why I couldn't cross over." Pippa then yells that she has had a vision like Gemma, so Felicity slaps Pippa across the face. Like, girl, snap out of it. Pippa looks at Felicity and tells her that she's going to be sorry for having done that. The factory girls then grab Gemma and company. They're holding their arms behind their backs. They drag our trio outside of, like, the castle. And Bessie tells Pippa that they're going to do whatever they ask. Like, so, like, what do you want us to do with them? Pippa declares that her whole life she was ordered around, and now it's time for her to give the orders. Felicity is fully distraught, like, sobbing, because, like, her toxic relationship just became, like, fully abusive, essentially. And she's also distraught because Pippa is like, everybody's always told me what to do, and Felicity's like, I haven't though. I've never told you to do anything other than be yourself, basically. Like, you don't get to treat me like that because I didn't do this to you. So she's bawling her eyes out. Pippa looks at her lovingly and pulls Felicity in. At this point, it dawns on Gemma that these girls are loving girls. Like, it
just hit her.
It just hit her.
Okay.
Oh, she pulls Felicity in and they make out. That's what they're doing. So Pippa comes up and just starts making out with Felicity at this point while Felicity's sobbing. And then Gemma's like, they're roommates?
Oh my God, girl.
Right. And, like, oh, really? Let's see. Okay, so they're making out, fists in each other's hair, fully macking on each other. Gemma slowly backs out and forgets everything happened. because I do name drop you in here. For this to be the moment that Gemma clocks it is like truly Nick level obliviousness. Like,
I'm offended, but I can't lie. I can't dispute that.
It's true. Okay, so Felicity pulls away, and because also Felicity's like very much in the closet, and so Felicity's embarrassed that Pippa just did this and like basically outed her. But also just the roller coaster of emotions here. And so Felicity pulls away. Pippa grabs Felicity and asks her why she's always leaving her. Pippa says to Felicity, "You told me you loved me. Why won't you eat the berries and stay with me?" Felicity whispers, "I do, but..." And Pippa demands to know why Felicity won't even say it. She lets go of Felicity. She was holding on her arm. She lets go, and she tells Felicity it's time to make a choice. Either Felicity is with her or against her. Pippa holds out a berry to Felicity. Felicity's sobbing, but she doesn't say anything. She doesn't move. Pippa then just crushes the berry in her hand and tells the factory girls to let them go, saying that they don't want non-believers to be among them anymore. She parts the flames, and Gemma and company make their escape. Pippa's loudly starts singing a song about true love and how it's like lies in waiting for her. And then like as they're like leaving, slowly the factory girls start joining in and they're singing loudly. So they're just surrounded by fire, like screaming this like song, and it's like just truly like what is happening. The ladies get back to Spence. Gemma walks Felicity to her room. Felicity lays down and asks Gemma why she came to sit with her, if it's because she came to see a degenerate. She's full on ugly crying. She tells Gemma that she knows Gemma despises her now that she knows Felicity's secret. Gemma puts her hand on Felicity's back because like Felicity's like laying facing away from Gemma, and so Gemma just reaches out and puts her hand on her back.
Okay, my mom had a roommate too.
Right. And she just says, "You're gonna love again." And Felicity pushes her face into the pillow and says, "I'm never gonna love again like this. Never like this." Gemma sits with Felicity until Felicity, like, the sobbing's, like, calm down. And it's more like just a quiet cry moment. At which point, Gemma crawls into bed with her and, like, big spoons her. And she, like, grabs onto Felicity's hand. And they just lay there together while Felicity cries. And Gemma just, like, holds her. And then just to tie up some loose ends with you here, because a lot of it doesn't matter, but Tom sends for Gemma. Basically, Dad's declining. You need to get here. Gemma arrives. Tom basically lays a smackdown on her, telling her that her reputation is her worth and she's ruining it. So he sent for her, yes, because her dad's declining, but also because he's pulling her from school. He's like, "I'm responsible for you now. I'm your guardian while Dad's sick. You're not going back to Spence. Your worth is your reputation. I'm not going to let you like sully this family. I'm not going to let you destroy yourself by, having thoughts and feelings." Basically, she's being held hostage. Kardik shows up to London, and he like comes in through her window, and they have like a cute little teenager hiding in bed, and then someone knocks on the door, and then he jumps up and hides behind the curtain. Anyways, so she receives a message. It's from the Rakshana. They're demanding that she bring them the magic or they're going to kill her brother. So, like, she has this fight with her brother, and then he goes off to, like, his club, and then she receives this letter. Yeah, so...
Bet. Okay, all right, get back in bed, Kardik.
Right. So, her and Kardik roll up to go get Tom. And Tom is not chill girl. Oh. So they roll up to get Tom, and Tom is like, "This chill girl, this is my initiation. Like, what are you doing here? Like, why are you here? I'm fine. Like, I'm not in danger."
I love that note, though.
Yeah,
Tom, chill girl.
But Gemma knows what's going on. Also, Tom's been like, he's either drunk or he's drugged, because he's just like, "No, this is my initiation. You shouldn't be here. I'm fine. Don't rescue me." So Gemma is like, I'm gonna be the big brother now, and she's like threatening Lord Denby. She said, she like literally threatens to hurt him, and he says, "You're a woman, you won't do it." So she unleashes hounds on the Rakshana. Like, she summons a bunch of hounds that they don't like harm anybody, but they're big ass hounds that like basically pin people into the walls. So they're like cowering in fear from all of these dogs, basically.
You're right. I won't do anything, but I'll
Yeah,
place.
so like everybody's like pissing themselves basically, and then she says she's taking Tom and she's taking Kartik, and they're leaving, and the Rakshana is never gonna bother any of them ever again. On the carriage ride home, Tom is like, so you can do magic, huh? He's just like, girl, what? Like, he knows what he saw, and he's not like trying to. He's just like, you can do magic. Like, it's just really funny. He's also like been drugged, so he's also like a little bit like high, but he's just being kind of goofy.
You're 2 books behind. Catch up.
Right. She lord ups on him, tells him like everything. And he's such a fucking narcissist. He gets really sad, and he goes, so they only pretended to want me because they wanted you?
Hate to break it to you, buddy.
Literally.
I think if he was like a sad sack previously, that would mean more. Like if he's just like always been like a loser weenie or something.
Okay, so like,
But he seems like he has like a lot of good things going for him until this point.
I don't know. I think he's a weenie.
I mean, yes.
a side story that didn't make it into the show. Tom wants to be something. Like, he wants to be somebody. Like, he has these big dreams of like becoming somebody important. And so like at this time, like if you're of a certain level of society, you're going to join some sort of gentleman's club. Like, that's just a thing. And the more prestigious the club you join, the better. And no club will have him except the club full of nerdy doctors. And like, he's a medical professional. So like, this group of highly intelligent people thinks he's intelligent enough to be among them, and he's mad because the club's not cool enough for him.
He wants the frat party.
So like, this has been like a thing all along. So he's like, a cool club, a cool secret prestigious club finally wanted me, and it's only because they were trying to piss my sister off. And so she apologizes, and she's like, yeah, they didn't actually want to be friends with you, bud. And so he's like stoned, and he goes, they had bad port anyways.
Oh my
They
god.
kept making me drink the port. It wasn't good. And then they have like a really sweet moment. She asks Tom if he thinks that she caused their father's decline. And he says, I promise you he's sick. He has consumption, and it's from his addictions. He then hits her with like, don't get me wrong though, you're hella annoying. But you hit like a man. Because she punched him at some point, and he's like, goddamn, girl. He's like, I promise you, it has nothing to do with you. His illness has nothing to do with you. His addiction has nothing to do with you. He's haunted. Like, he's doing this to himself. You have nothing to do with it, and you have to promise me you're gonna stop trying to fix him, because he's gonna sink or swim, and that's on him. Like, we've all been trying to help him. It's on him at this point. Like, everything that happens and has happened is because of choices he's making, not you. He's like, I know you love our father. I know you think of him as this like white knight, just this amazing, perfect person, but that's not him. And like, lovingly, you need to grow up and kind of realize that type of thing. Like, he's determined to like kill himself at this point. Like, we can't stop him. So she tells him that if she can't save her father, then she has to accept that she's alone. And he says, we're all alone, but at least we can keep each other company sometimes. So fast forward, stuff happens. Gemma finds a clue at a place. I don't know. It was like midnight at this point, guys. Okay. I don't know what happened. Gemma finds a clue. Oh, also they're like, take Folsom with you. So Folsom's riding around with them. Like, he's driving the carriage. I don't know. Folsom's now part of the crew. So
He's now on the villager side.
right. And I don't remember. I think they maybe passed a building she recognized, or something, and she tells Folsom to stop, and he's like, the key is a rough area. I'm not stopping here. And she goes, wait, this place is called the Key? And he's like, yeah. And she goes, okay, now we have to stop. Like, I'm sorry, we have to stop here. So they go into like this like really rundown boarding house, which is called the Key. Mina has a room there. They find out Mina has a room there. They go to her room, and one of the paintings in the book that says the key holds the truth, that painting was of the view out of her apartment window. So she's like, cool. Also, there's a giant tree on one wall, and it just fucking words. So many words all over the wall, just like rambling words. Tree has branches with bodies hanging from them. Some of the things on the wall, I see into the darkness. She has become the tree. They are one and the same. Her noble power has been corrupted. She has deceived us all, a monster. The most beloved of us all, beloved no more. My sister is gone. The key holds the truth. Nick nodded. Are you clocking the big bad?
Probably not. I started thinking about bodies in trees, and then she has become the tree. Really relates to what I'm reading right now.
Oh, okay.
Again, we'll get there.
Okay.
Just weird parallels. And okay, not parallels. They both have fantasy elements, so I guess stuff is going to cross over one way or another. And like they're both, what I'm talking about, what you're reading, both very long,
But good.
Like there's so many elements are going to be part of both that.
Yeah.
It's not like stealing or anything, just crossover, same idea.
Yeah, it's not like really. It's the pieces aren't unique, but the picture it draws is. You know.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess another she name based on those words written on the wall?
Wait, say it again.
Okay, I'm gonna read you the wall.
Mm-hmm.
I see into the darkness. She has become the tree. They are one and the same. Her noble power has been corrupted. She has deceived us all, a monster. The most beloved, beloved no more. My sister is gone. And then the key holds the truth.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay, we're about to find out.
Because I still want to think it's Gemma in a weird way.
I have two thoughts. Eugenia? Caroline? No?
Gemma puts her hand on the wall and she says, show me. We are now in a vision of the night of the fire. Eugenia is in the realms. She hands off her amulet. Sarah and Mary exit. Sorry. The creatures are standing around Eugenia and they're debating what to do with her, basically. Some think that they should sacrifice her to the tree. Some want to sacrifice her, but one says, if we do that, then we will have her power, but the game is to get the temple's power, basically. Like, we can kill her and have this now, or we can play the long game and try to get to the temple. Like, we need the temple. We have her. We can probably access the temple as long as we have her. So, like, sure, we can kill her and get a lot of power right now, but we can hold on to her and get more power later, basically. So Eugenia says that she's never going to help them, so it doesn't matter. Her loyalty is unwavering. Basically, they say, if your loyalty is unwavering, that's going to make you pretty easy to break, actually. So they take her to the tree. They slice open her hand. The blood falls onto the roots of the tree. The roots begin to climb up her, and she's entombed in the tree. Over the years spent trapped within the tree, her mind begins to break until one day she requests a sacrifice. In awe of her power from the sacrifice, the creatures tell her that they were lost and that they needed a mother and a leader to guide them. She tells the creatures that one who holds great and terrible power will come. She is what they will need. But first, she must lay bricks that will allow them to return to the world first. The vision then shifts to Mina, receiving a message from Eugenia telling her to reconstruct the East Wing. Mina passes that info on to McCleathy, who sets the wheels in motion to start raising funds to get the East Wing rebuilt. But Mina is able to see into the darkness, and she's able to see into the Winterlands, so she actually ends up seeing the truth anyways, like, because she keeps poking around in there. Like, Eugenia wanted her to have that one message, but she likes to look into the darkness and see what's going on. So she is like, oh shit, I fucked us all, basically. Like, I had them start rebuilding the East Wing, and we're all doomed at this point. So she contacts Nightwing and McCleathy, and she's like, listen, I was wrong. We can't do this. But McCleathy, for whatever reason, so no, she's racked with guilt, so she starts using, is what happens. And then she's frantically trying to warn the Order, but she's been self-medicating, so now nobody will take her seriously, especially because it was her idea to do it in the first place. Also, generally speaking, like, you believe the story you want to hear most anyway, so if they like that story better, they're gonna go with that one. So they basically dismiss her. Mina is running along the pier. She slips, she hits her head, she falls in the Thames, she slips away into the darkness. So she wasn't murdered, she was just distraught, and she wasn't in the right mind, and she just fell.
So Eugenia is her sister.
Eugenia's her sister, and that, like, they're in the Order. Eugenia's her aunt,
Oh, okay.
though.
Yeah, because that's, I think, where I got confused. So is she the tree? Is she just the tree now?
She's the tree, and she's the mother of the Winterlands.
Okay.
So, you know, what Circe said about you need to know what to believe and what not to believe. They're going to tell you things and you can't believe it. Also, it's important that they don't sacrifice you, Gemma, and they definitely can't sacrifice you with that dagger. So definitely come where they want to sacrifice you with the weapon that they can't sacrifice you with. Bring it here, and that'll be the fix for all of this. So Eugenia played them all, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Gemma, like, basically wakes up with a loud gasp. Kardik jumps, and he's like, you've been out for hours. Like, what happened? So she basically looks at them and says, we need to get to Spence now. And Folsom basically says, hold on to your butts, and they get in the carriage and they are off. Gemma is telling Kardik that Amar was actually trying to warn her because Eugenia was born in May. And that's why Mina threw her into the grave, so that, because Gemma was standing in front of the grave and she didn't even clock that her fucking birthday was in May. So that's what the whole thing has been about. So also, like, honestly, the most heinous clues ever. Like, Mina, you threw her into the fucking dirt when you could have just pointed. Like, bitch, you could have just pointed. Like, be so for real. Like,
taken a Sharpie and circled it.
Right, like, be real here. Okay, anyways.
Arrows.
Yeah, at minimum.
Something, anything.
Everybody's talking in riddles. Like,
Everybody's in dreams.
That's like this going, Jonathan Colton.
Yes, absolutely.
1st of May, 1st of May.
Ugh.
What a lovely, lovely
Alright, showdown at
day.
Spence. Is he gonna lose your spot again?
They get to Spence. Gemma sits McCleathy and Nightwing down. She brings them up to speed. McCleathy is fully not fucking having it. Like, she is denial.
So it's a girl who wants to build a tower in order to restore the man. You know.
Yeah, so, she's not having it. She's telling Gemma that that's not possible. Nightwing is pale as cheese. That's literally the fucking description in the book. Nightwing is pale as cheese.
She's be pale sometimes.
Sure do. Nice Swiss. Okay.
He's pale as Swiss.
Just to give Nick some context, behind me, as I yelled that at him at 11 o'clock at night, I just yelled, pale as cheese? And he's like, what is happening? I need an adult. Okay. So, as luck would have it, the next day is Eugenia's birthday. So Gemma deduces that this is intended to be Gemma's death day. that like we've been building to this moment. Tomorrow's her birthday. They're going to come for me. They're going to sacrifice me tomorrow, basically. And it's like nighttime at this point. So within a matter of hours, all hell's about to break loose. So
how much time do I have? Do I have to count for daylight savings time? Did they have daylight savings time back
Can I
then?
have some pizza before I get sacrificed to death?
right, please, thank you. Just a little snacky snack. I'm as pale as cheese, anyways.
You know what I've never tried? Indian food. Ironic, isn't it?
I know. So just to kind of bring you up to speed on like what Nightwing's whole thing is, she was a part of the Order. She attended Spence. She gained magic, but then her magic flared and faded, basically. So when she left to be normal people, just do normal things. But then when her husband left her, so her marriage also faded, she came back to Spence to serve the Order. Essentially, she's like, I love you guys. Like, I'm here to take care of you. If you need me, I'm here. So like in a servant type of way. McCleathy exits the room telling Nightwing that she better remember her place, because it seems like Nightwing is shook by this information, even though she is partially in denial, because she too doesn't want to believe that that would happen to Eugenia, because again, she's the most faithful. But the theme about acknowledge your darkness, know your dark side, is like, when you know your dark side, you know what can hurt you. But if you say that you're unwavering, then you don't know where your weak points are, and that means that someone else can find them and exploit them, type of thing. So that was kind of the gist of that. McCleathy says, remember your place. Falson follows after her because he's like, you need to listen. Like, babe, like, for real, be for real right now, okay? Like, this, we don't like her, but she's right at this point. So they have a whisper fight in the hall. Nightwing then exits. And as she's leaving, she says something to Gemma that I had to reread like 4 times because it did not make sense as to why she was saying that to Gemma. But she basically was like, sometimes you have to bend. Like, she very snarkily said something to Gemma in way of like, it's just, why do you assume that you're right? And it's like, okay, but that absolutely applies to McCleathy and does not, in fact, apply to Gemma at all. Because Gemma knows she doesn't know shit. She's just doing her best. But, you know, it's like, yeah, like, we've existed for centuries. We've had many great women, like, humble yourself and know that you're not always right, type of thing. Like, sometimes you have to, like, bend your way of thinking. Which, again, that does not at all apply to Gemma, in my opinion. Anyways, the adults get up and leave. Gemma and Kardik are sitting there like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? Because we have the answers, but nobody who can actually help us wants to believe us. So they exit and find that Felicity and Anne were just kind of loitering outside the door. Felicity tells Gemma that maybe she's wrong about this because everybody just wants to assume that Gemma's wrong. And like, she's been right about a whole lot in the past few days. Like, why you would even, because who has been ringing the alarm bells about Pippa this entire time? Like, be so fucking for real, girl. So okay, anyways, later that night, one of the little girls at Spence comes up to Bridget and says that there's a pixie outside, telling her to come outside and play with it. And then when she didn't come out, they told her that it's okay because they'll come back tomorrow. So she comes up and tells Bridget this. Bridget, we know that Bridget is like very woo-woo, so she is not liking that. She is trying to tell the kiddo that it was just a dream, though. She's just like, oh, that was just a dream. And she's like, I was just standing over there. What do you mean? Like, no, I was right there. That wasn't a dream. I was awake. And then the girl just keeps insisting, and Nightwing looks fucking terrified. Like, just her face is flushed. She's just like, oh no. So Gemma, you were right. McCleathy is listening to this stuff happening with interest, but she then goes up and yells at the little girl, basically, like, it was a dream. It's like, bitch, please. Please.
Oh my.
I beg you, have some sense. So she's trying to gaslight the kid into believing that everything's fine. But Nightwing grabs Gemma. She pulls her aside and she tells Gemma that she's always followed orders, but she is starting to think that Gemma's right. But she, and kind of love Babe for this. She says, first and foremost, she is a headmistress and she has a lot of young ladies, and her number one priority will always be to protect the girls of Spence. Like, I serve the order, I belong to them, but I have to keep these kids safe. Like, basically, like, she takes that incredibly seriously. So she's like, what do we do?
Make the gargoyles live.
I mean, the gargoyles be living, basically. So sorry, guys.
Okay.
She's like, you might be onto something. I gotta protect these girls. They basically go get Mother Elena, and they're like, get your buckets, babe. Let's go. It's your time to shine. So
Time for the blood.
Right. So Mother Elena comes in. She's got buckets of blood because she, I guess, just had buckets of blood ready to go. But she brings them up to Spence. Basically, the Romani all come up to Spence. There's, you know, they hand out bowls of blood to all of the girls, and they're like, we're going to play a game. Who wants to paint the windows?
It's just red paint.
So they're like passing the blood around. Bridget tells the little girls, the like young ones, and then they just make the older ones do it too. But she's basically like, we're gonna play a game. Here's some bowls of blood. Here's some paintbrushes. We need you to paint markings on the doors of the windows. We're gonna pretend that the pixies are real, and we're going to fortify so that they can't get in.
Mom, guess what I did at boarding school?
Right. So everyone, including the Romani, are like pulling an all-nighter. Basically, so they paint all the doors, all the windows, have blood markings on. Everybody fans out, and now everybody is crowded into the great room. Like, the entire school, all of the Romani, they're all just piled in there, and basically everybody is like, we gotta stay awake. We gotta be on alert. So there's like this part in the book where like Gemma's like ticking down 1 hour, 45 minutes, 30 minutes, and like they're like dozing off. And so it's basically like they're sitting in this hushed room, and all you can hear is the clock ticking, and everybody is trying to fight and stay awake, and they're just all staring at the clock waiting for it to hit midnight just to see like, is it about to get bad. Midnight, clock stops. They then begin to hear the faint sounds of horses riding up to the school.
That is one accurate clock. This is before you could dial a phone number and they'll give you the exact time.
Yeah. So they are basically under siege. Mother Elena says that they're not going to stop until they get in and have what they want while looking at Gemma. I know I mentioned this in the first one, but you remember how I said that they brought magic back and realized that the carvings on the pillars in the great room were actually living creatures that were just trapped in the pillars? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're alive and coming out of the pillars right now while everybody's barricaded in the room with them.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so the columns come to life. They're chanting sacrifice and just like kind of attacking girls. Nightwing gathers up all of the littlest ducklings. She's like, to me, come on, little ladies, like, come on, we're playing a game, let's go out into the hall. So she's like trying to get the youngest like out into safety first. Into like places that don't have the carvings. Felicity and Anne call to Gemma because Gemma and Kardec are basically like just fucking beating creatures left and right with like a fire poker. Like one has an umbrella, one has a fire poker. Like they're just fighting things off. But then Felicity and Anne are like, we gotta go. Like you need to get out of there. Please stop fighting and come out here. So they get out into the hall. Anne jams an umbrella in one door, and then Gemma puts the fire poker in the other, so they've like locked the great room off. Felicity asks Gemma to gift them with magic, basically like, we need to fight, like help, like let us help you fight, basically. And Mother Elena says absolutely not. She tells Gemma that she can't because nothing is balanced right now. So if you guys try to use your magic to fight, you don't know what's going to happen because everything's wackadoo. Like, that is a bad move. So Anne basically says, what do we do? And Kardik very helpfully tells her that they should stay alive.
Oh my god. Great advice, bud.
Right.
Thank you. Great help.
The doors to the great room, they're buckling. They're not going to hold much longer. And then Nightwing suggests that they make a break to the chapel. Kardik is like, hard pass. We absolutely should not be going outside. The basic girls of Spence, so like the fucking goon squad, are like just cowering and sobbing and absolutely freaking out, and they're like blaming Gemma, and like, you know, low key yes, but like also more key McLeethy at this point. So Nightwing gaslights them, telling them that this is just a game and the bravest girl is gonna get a prize. Basically,
God damn
like,
it.
shut the fuck up. But, like, you guys freaking out is not helping. Like, we're trying to figure shit out, and I can't be coddling you right now. So, the bravest girl wins. Everybody stop crying. So, McLeethy tells them, everyone follow me. And they go outside. Everyone joins hands, so they're like one long human millipede, and they make their way down to the chapel. The gargoyles...
Human millipede?
The gargoyles are out there, like, being daddy gargoyle, like, just, they're clearing a path. They're keeping them safe as they, like, get down there. So once inside, Gemma announces that she's about to be Paul Bunyan up in this bitch. And she's like, I'm gonna go to the Winterlands and I'm gonna find an axe and we're gonna fuck that tree up. So Kardik is like, well, obviously, probably that's not great. And then let's see. Oh, yeah, he's basically like, so the creatures are here to get you and take you there. I don't know that we should go to where all of the other creatures are and where they are trying to take you. Like, this is maybe bad. But Nightwing is basically like, does she look safe, though? Because he's like, it's safer here. And Nightwing is like, it's not safe anywhere, bro. Like, at least if she goes, we're doing something to stop this, because it's not going to stop until she's dead. So we need to be proactive, essentially.
Where's the last place I would look for her? At the tree.
That is kind of true.
Yeah. So Gemma says that she's gonna go, anyways. So, like, at least she has a plan. So she's like, all right, we're gonna go. I need to make it to the woods and across the lawn first, though. And Kardik's like, okay, bet, let's go. McLeethy is horrified that, Gemma would even think to take Kardik in there, basically saying, like, that's against the rules. Like, you can't do that. The Rakshana aren't allowed there. And Gemma's like, he's already been there. And
Living creatures aren't allowed inside the academy either, so what are you gonna do?
Right. Like, basically, it's against the Order's laws. They've banished the Rakshana from the realms. It's not even possible for you to take him there. And
Lies.
Gemma's like, oh, he's been there. And McLeethy then scolds her, asking if there is anything Gemma hasn't managed to mess up. As if this isn't quite literally McLeethy's fault for not fucking taking every goddamn person's warning seriously about this. It's like, has Gemma made a lot of really fuck choices? Yes. Taking Kardik to the realms is absolutely not one of those fuck choices. But, like, also, Gemma wouldn't have had to make any choices at all had you just not built the fucking East Wing back, bitch. Like, be so for real. I hate this hoe so much, but, like, she's about to get hers. So, she goes on to tell Gemma that there's rules. Basically, like, there's rules. You have to follow the rules. Also, like, girl, we're at war. Be so real. Gemma basically says there are no rules, telling McLeethy that she's gonna do what she wants. She's not part of the Order. I don't have to fucking follow the rules. I'm also the one in charge. Like, I'm the chosen one. I'm the one in power. I'm the one that's supposed to be ruling. Like, I make the fucking rules, ho. Like, he can come there if I want, but also, like, shut the fuck up.
Gemma says, there's no rules. McLeethy starts taking her shirt off. Gemma yells, there's one rule. Or no, put it back on. There's one rule.
So she also is like, I have the power and I can just keep the Order out if that's how you want to be. Like, I don't have to let you in there. You don't have to return. Like, I can make it so none of you can ever come back in there. So, like, I think you should maybe, like, learn your place. Like, basically, like, humble yourself, bitch. It also is so crazy to me that McCleathy just still thinks she's in charge. For what? For why? Like, wild. Kardik is basically like, I'm technically not part of the Rakshana anymore, if it makes you feel any better. Like,
Fair, true.
You know, so... And then he follows up by saying, like, but also she gets to do what she wants, so shut up, basically, like, stand by his woman. Felicity and Anne co-sign that they're going to go with her, obviously. McCleathy then says that she's going to go as a representative of the Order, again, as if the Order hasn't fucking caused all this in the first place. Folsom, of course, wants to join the party. McCleathy tells him that he has to stay here to defend Nightwing, but she and Mother Elena are like, we got this, we're good, don't even worry about it. Also, Gemma points to the window and goes, they are protected. And then Cecily from the Goon Squad screeches, the windows! I'm like, bitch, why are you so upset about the window being here to protect you? That's crazy. That's crazy work. Like, I need you to be chill. Anyway, so she's sobbing. She's freaking out that the windows are supposed to protect her. And then she starts crying, screaming that it's all Gemma's fault. And Nightwing then is trying to get everybody to chill out, and so she tells the girls at Spence that they're about to sing some hymnals. She tells them that they're British and they need to quit. They need to start acting like it and stop crying. So everybody's gonna sing because you can't cry if you're singing. So
watch me.
Yeah, so basically, Mother Elena is like, Kardik, get some, prick your finger and go draw a symbol on the door on your way out. So they symbol the inside, they symbol the outside, everybody leaves, people are in the chapel, the angel's like, I got you, it's fine.
All right, everyone, we're going to sing our national anthem, and a 1, and a 2. Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy?
Yes. Okay, so... they get into the realms. All hell's broken loose. The Winterlands creatures are basically riding through and wiping everything out. They're setting shit on fire. They're killing anybody that they come across. They're, absolutely destroying everything. There's a confrontation going down between Asha, Fian, and Neela, the, stupid bitch.
Can you be more specific?
The one that killed the centaur.
Wasn't she a centaur themselves?
She was a shapeshifter.
Yeah. So she could be if she wanted to. But anyway, so Asha and Fion are fighting with Neela because it's come out that Neela killed the centaur to start the war. Basically saying we needed a reason to go to war because there can't be progress without cost. So she was just trying to accelerate that. She tells,
that attitude.
Right. She tells Fion she did what she must, and they respond with and now I will too, and then they kill her. Basically, she's like, I did what I had to, and Fion's like, yeah, and then I'm gonna do what I have to too. So love to see that. They then try to make a plan, the group collectively. Fion tells them that the Winterlands are writing for the Borderlands. Felicity, of course, is very worried about Pippa. Kardik tells Felicity that she can't save Pippa, which is so incredibly true. But Felicity is not going to let a man tell her what to do, so she takes off. Gemma tells Felicity that they have to go to the tree first, and then they can swing back and get Pippa, and Felicity argues that it could be too late by then. It could be too late now. We gotta go warn her, at least. Gemma just says sorry and heads off. That isn't course until Anne comes to tell her that Felicity went alone. Basically, Gemma's like, we're not going, that's the end of it. We have to go do the tree thing. And then she walks off somewhere else. And then Anne is like, she left alone. So Gemma tells Kardik she can't lose Felicity. Basically, I've lost too much. We need Felicity. Anne and McCleathy volunteer to go on the rescue mission. Kardik tells Gemma she's crazy if she thinks he's staying behind. She tells him that she is mad, but he knew that already. She kisses him and asks him to trust her. And with that, just a core group of ladies have gone. So Anne, Felicity, McCleathy, and Gemma head off. Kardik stays behind. They get to Pippa. She asks what they're doing there. Gemma tells her that they've come to get Felicity. Pippa scolds her for losing Felicity and tells Gemma that she supposes Gemma should look inside the castle. They go inside. Pippa begins lining goblets of berries up along the altar. Gemma asks where Felicity is. Pippa tells her that she needs to be patient. One of the factory girls asks who the hell McLeethy is. When she introduces herself, Pippa giggles and says, so you're the one giving Gemma so much trouble. Well, you won't be giving me trouble. And McLeethy basically says, yeah, I will, bitch. She's like, I'm going to make a lot of trouble if you don't tell us where Felicity is so we can do what we came here to do. One of the factory girls tells them that Felicity is in the tower for safekeeping and begs for Pippa to let Felicity go. Pippa tells Anne that she knew when Anne returned that she would make the perfect sacrifice, telling them that Wendy wasn't a very good sacrifice because she was blind and all that. Like, she was blind, so she wasn't a good sacrifice. But Anne, you're doughy, we can do that. So McLeethy is like, no, girl, you're not taking Anne. And McLeethy, again, the fucking power of narcissism is just like, you can sacrifice me, because she thinks that they're not a danger. Like, so she offers to be sacrificed, having no intention of being sacrificed.
You can sacrifice me if you can catch me.
Literally. So
I've been oiled up for days.
So she's like, you can have me. She looks at Gemma and she says, whatever happens, you have to put your fear aside. You have to safeguard the magic. She's like, that's the one thing you have to do. And like, she's not wrong. But also Gemma, doesn't need to tell Gemma that, because Gemma already knows that. So basically Gemma's like, what are you doing? She's like, sometimes sacrifices must be made. She then again is like, make it a promise, safeguard, blah blah blah. Factory girls grab McLeethy. She demands that the little hooligans unhand her. She then smacks one across the face. Bessie punches her in the head and drops McLeethy to the ground. Then the rest of the little hooligans are stomping her. So she's like on the ground being like stomped by all of the factory girls. Pippa then tells them that's enough. The girls grab McLeethy and drag her bloody body over to Pippa. Gemma notices that McLeethy looks horrified because she didn't actually think that they had any power or could overpower her in any way, shape, or form, because, you know, she's a proper lady and people should respect her. So turns out she's super wrong. Bessie pulls out a sword and beheads her. So also, which is apt for my Queen of Hearts reference that I made before I got to that point. But yeah,
over their head.
Yeah, because she's like, okay, that's enough of that. Bring her to me. And then Bessie beheads her. Bessie then grabs Gemma and asks Pippa if they should take her to the Winterlands to sacrifice her. Pippa absolutely loves that idea, at which point Felicity comes down from the tower and she asks Pippa, if I eat the berries, will you leave everybody else alone? Like, if I eat the berries and stay with you, will you just let them go? Like, this has to stop. Pippa looks at Felicity very lovingly. She leans over, kisses Felicity's forehead, and says, no. Felicity begs, telling Pippa that she doesn't understand the creatures are going to hurt her. Like, you're in danger too, bitch, basically. Like, they aren't going to be nice to you just because you, like, they have no loyalty to you. They're going to hurt you. You're not as powerful as you think you are. Pippa and Gemma face off with their magic. Gemma isn't fully able to wield her magic, as Pippa, like, has her pinned down. But Felicity grabs her sword and with the flat side of it, whacks Pippa up in the head with the flat side of the sword. Basically uses it like a baseball bat. Pippa looks up at Felicity confused. Then Pippa sees her arm is cut open. Blood trickles from her arm onto the vines. The castle then begins to violently shake as the vines fully come to life. They grab onto anything that is near them. Felicity shouts for Pippa to come with them. They make their escape. Pippa holds onto her arms, telling them that there is nothing to fear. So, like, she's still delusional. She's just like, you can stay with me. It's fine. I'm the chosen one. Like, nothing bad is going to happen because I'm the chosen one. You can stay here. As the castle is quite literally crumbling around her, she's like, no, stay with me. It's fine. So she just keeps saying, like, I am the way. Gemma grabs Felicity, drags her out. The vines grab Pippa and fully drag her down to the floor. She just keeps screaming, no, I am the way, like trying to convince the vines to let her go. The castle fully crumbles and Pippa is gone. The gang and the factory girls are with them. So the factory girls, I don't know at what point they like decided that they were like good, but they're now part of the crew. They roll out.
Well, the factory workers understood that vines don't have ears, And Pippa never got that.
That's fair. That is so fair. So the gang goes back to Gorgon. They board. Fion is holding an enchanted axe. Like, so the magic arsenal that they had created, they have the axe. They're on the boat. They're like, let's go. Gorgon departs. Gemma begs the Gorgon to join them in battle. So they like pull up to the Winterlands, and Gemma's like, we need you. Like, stop playing, girl. Like, this isn't the time. And she again doubles down and says, absolutely not. I can't. So Gemma goes up to Fion. Fion just goes, pity, we could have used a fierce warrior today. They go to the tree. Obviously, the place is swarming with creatures. They are debating what to do. Gemma suggests drawing on the power from the tree to cast an illusion of Gemma's everywhere, basically pulling an I am Spartacus type moment. Like, they won't know who to sacrifice if we're all wearing my face type of thing. So Fion...
It can kill all of us.
Fion's like, that's a really, really good idea. However, if you draw the power, they will at some point be able to detect it. Like, they're going to know you're here, and they'll be able to like spot you out based on who's drawing the power. So Gemma tells them they only need the distraction long enough to get to the tree. She instructs everyone on what they should do. She tells Kardik that she would like him to... She said, I would love you to be by my side, but I need you to stay on lookout for Amar. Kardik tells Gemma, in his dream, they were side by side. She tells him that was just a dream, and he just nods. Fion asks what happens when they find her. She tells them that they need to get to the tree at all cost and cut it down. If they get her, do not save her. Go to the tree. Do not pass go. Fucking do what you gotta do. With that, she turns everyone into Gemma. And they run out into the battlefield. She can tell which one's Felicity because she's like screaming like this fierce battle cry and like swinging her sword and like fucking killing shit left and right. Like, hell, she thinks like she was born to do this. Gemma looks, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she sees this fierce green giantess of a warrior rushing into battle, wielding swords in each 4 of her hands. She's swinging them. She's striking people down left and fucking right. And she shrieks, if you wish a battle, I shall give it. I'm the last of my kind, and I shall not lie down without a fight. Gemma is just in awe because like the Gorgon's like, okay, I guess I gotta come out and play.
Oh, I thought it was Shiva.
No, yes, man and tiger. Okay, so
No, I meant the Hindu god. I'm pretty sure they're the one that has 4 arms. I could be wrong about that.
Well, tigers have 4 arms. So
Oh, you got me there. Oh,
So,
wow. Okay. Wow.
she's
Mind blown.
like, Gorgon is like cutting people down in mass and turning others into stone, and Gemma is just admiring her. She's just in awe of her, just staring like, oh my god. But we know
Giant woman.
But we know what Gorgons do, right? We know if we stare at them, people turn to stone. So Gemma all of a sudden can't look away. And so real Gemma calls out to the Gorgon. The Gorgon looks at Gemma, and then she fully can't look away because basically she's like, you're here. And Gemma now can't look away from her. She feels herself slowly turning to stone. As she's losing her ability to breathe, the Gorgon like comes back to her senses because she very much is in battle mode and is like, I'm gonna fucking kill everything and turn everything to stone. And then she's like, oh shit, that's Gemma. So then
She did the thing that she told Gemma not to let her do.
yeah. So
But it necessary, whatever.
she then just starts screaming, close your eyes, like Most High, close your eyes, like stop looking at me, please. So it's a reverse weeping angel situation. Gemma sees Kardik running full speed towards his brother. She looks around and she is able to spot Fion and Felicity as well. She can see them. So like she sees them for who they are, like, oh shit, the illusion's fading really, really fast. So she's like, no more playing. She fucking hikes up her skirt and she fucking books it. Also, side note, you guys pulled an all-nighter and you didn't think to put on fucking pants? Like, girl, for real? You knew you were going to go into battle. You were at your house. Put on goddamn pants. Anyways, so she hikes up her skirt. She takes off running full force. She snatches the axe from Fionn as she runs by them. She is fucking... Fion's like using the axe to swing, like chop off heads. She grabs it. She runs. Roots shoot out and tangle around her ankles as she approaches the tree. She falls down hard. Gemma hears someone call to her. She looks up to see Circe, who is cocooned inside the tree, the branches of the tree. She is holding the dagger, though. So she calls up to Gemma. She tells Gemma that she must finish it, and then she drops the dagger as a vine tightens around Circe's neck. The tree begins calling to Gemma, telling her to stay with it always. It gives the twins from The Shining kind of like, play with us. So she hears Kardik calling her name. She then hears Felicity calling her name. Gemma is fully crying, just reaching for the tree. She's like entranced. And then she hears Circe telling her not to listen. Gemma's then pulled out of her trance momentarily before sinking back in. Circe yells, like, don't listen to that bitch, basically. Gemma and Eugenia have a showdown. Eugenia tells Gemma that she tries and tries, and yet she can never seem to fit in. She is always going to end up alone. Circe calls to Gemma, telling her that she isn't alone. Gemma fingers find the dagger. She's holding the dagger. And then she says she does fit, just like everyone else. She's impossibly flawed, but full of hope. And with that, Gemma breaks through the trance. She's back in the battlefield and not just like in a silent space with the tree. She then says, right, let's end this properly. She lifts the dagger. She channels every ounce of magic she has, saying, I free the souls trapped here and release you. As she tries to plunge the dagger into the tree, a branch swings out and knocks the dagger from her hand. She then hears Kartik yell for her. She looks up because she knows that he's very alarmed. And then she sees Amar on his horse riding full speed for her. Kartik is running full speed behind him, trying to catch him, but, you know, he's not as fast as a horse. So she's scrambling for the dagger, but it's just out of reach. Almost like she maybe should have had someone standing next to her who could have also grabbed for the dagger. But the roots trip her up. They knock her to the ground. As she's crawling for the dagger, Amar gets there first. Kartik screams no as Gemma feels a sharp pain in her side. She looks down. She sees blood soaking through her shirt. Felicity and Anne scream her name. They basically, all of her core group is running full force for her right now. Gemma stands. She staggers towards the tree. She pulls the dagger out of her side. And she whispers, I release these souls, and then she plunges the dagger into the tree. The tree screams in pain. Souls start pushing out of the tree. Gemma falls. Her eyes flutter shut. Her body begins to tremble uncontrollably. The last thing she hears is Kartik screaming her name. Gemma awakens in a thick mist. She sees a barge coming towards her from the fog. When members of the Order die, they're greeted by what's called the Three. They're basically like the Fates, like a crone, a maiden, and a mother, more or less. And when the Order dies, they get a choice. They can either move on to the afterlife, in which a carving of them will be added to sort of the entranceway that they walked in, or they can just go back and have a second chance if they had something that they need to finish. But their name will be forgotten to time if they do that, basically. So it's like live in glory, or, you know, go back and just be a person. Like, not that you're not a member of the Order, but you understand. That's a stupid rule anyways. I don't like it. The old woman offers Gemma the berries and tells her it's time for her to make a choice. Gemma tells Gemma once she chooses, there's no going back. So final sale. She hears her friends calling her name in the distance, but that just slowly begins to fade. She then hears Circe say her name. She turns around. Circe's standing behind her. She no longer looks like she did in the realm. She looks like the Miss Moore that she like loved and admired. She tells Gemma that she's done really well. Gemma asks Circe if she meant to save her all along, and Circe basically says, don't get it twisted. I meant to save myself first, and I meant for the power third. Saving you is a distant third, like a very distant third. And Gemma goes, but I'm third. And Circe just kind of laughs and is like, yeah, but also you saved yourself. Like, I helped, but like you did this. I didn't do this. I if anything hindered you. But Gemma asks what's going to happen to Circe. The crone tells her that Circe is going to wander the mist until the end of time. As this is happening, Gemma is slowly starting to forget like where she was, what she was doing, and her friends. So she takes the berry and she puts it in her mouth. But then she starts to think about Kardik. And she then remembers leaving him by the tree, and she remembers that she needs to do something. So she ends up like spitting the berry out, and she asks the crone if she's able to sort of have a wish. Like, if I decide to go back and decide not to come and just be immortalized, can I make a request? And the crone says, yeah, if you want. And so she says that she'd like to offer her place to someone else. She looks at Circe and tells her that she saved her life, and that has to count for something. Like, yeah, you were a bad person, so you don't deserve to be immortalized, but you saved me, like, kind of the most important person that needed to be saved at this point. So, like, you did something ultimately that was incredibly good at the end. So, like, you know, we're not just our bad choices. Circe tells Gemma that she hates self-sacrifice. So she's like, bitch, don't be gross. Like, and Gemma basically says, well, I can't have you wandering in the mist forever. Like, just get on the fucking boat. So Circe's like, okay, fine. So the three wish Gemma luck. They tell her they won't be seeing her again. She wakes up and calls Kardik's name. He tells Gemma not to move because her blood can't fall into the Winterlands. Gemma covers her wound and tries to get, like, scoot away from the tree. The tree begins to sway, it cracks open, and magic begins to bleed out. Gorgon then shouts to Kardik, telling him to get away from the tree, but she doesn't yell soon enough. The magic comes out of the tree and flows straight into Kardik. He collapses to the ground. Gemma screams for him. He slowly staggers back to his feet, but he's no longer Kardik. He's something else. He shifts from light to dark. His eyes go from milky white to brown. All of the magic of the Winterlands is fully within him now. So basically, like, she's the temple and he's the tree. Gemma reaches for him as her blood drips out of her body and into the soil. The roots grab the blood, and then they grab on her ankle and begin to start entombing her. Anna and Felicity run for the tree. They grab the roots and they're trying to pull him off of her. Amar looks at Kardik, telling him, I told you that you were going to be the death of her. Kardik is glowing with power and says, yes, but you also told me to follow my heart. Amar asks Kardik if he will give him peace. Kardik says yes and pushes his sword through Amar. Kardik places his hand on Gemma's side. The magic flares, and they both begin to, like, glow incredibly brightly. They're shifting between this glowing and shadow. The magic of the temple and the Winterlands begin combining between the two. She can hear his thoughts, and she tells him no, and she's trying to pull away. But the more she tries to pull away, the more he clings to her. He pulls her in, and he tells her that the debt must be paid, but that the world needs her too much right now. Basically, like, the tree is going to take somebody, but you're more important to the world. She's sobbing. He pulls her in and he tells her that it must be paid. He tells her that he's waited his whole life to feel a sense of purpose, and he knows what his place is now. She's fully sobbing and she's begging him not to do this. He smiles at her and tells her that he knows what his destiny is, and he pulls her in for a kiss. The roots release Gemma and latch on to Kardik. She says his name. She kisses his cheeks. The magic takes hold of him, and he lets the tree claim him so that he can free her. Gemma sobbing and telling him she wants to go back and undo this. He tells her, you can only go forward, you can't go back. He kisses her one last time as the vines wrap around his throat. His lips grow cold. Gemma places her hands on the ground. She's sobbing. She says, I give the magic back to the realms and the Winterlands and everyone who should share within the tribes. And Act 5. Anne goes off. She joins the theater.
It's like 40 minutes. I'm just going to stop right now and give you a second to drink some water.
I literally have 30 seconds left.
Oh, then let's just go then.
Yes. So Anne joins the theater. Felicity and Gemma, they make their debuts. Felicity tells her betrothed that she doesn't want to marry him, and he said, good, because I don't want to marry you either. So that worked out really well.
Do you have a sister by any chance?
But also, because she made her debut before they had that conversation, she gets to have her inheritance. So she is going to set sail to Paris, and have all of the roommates she could possibly want.
Just like my mother.
Mm-hmm. At the debut, after she officially debuts, like at the palace, basically, she pulls her dad aside and she tells him that she wants this to be the end of her season. Like, she's like, I know that I just debuted, but like, I don't want to do this. She tells him that she wants to have her own life and she wants to live as she pleases. Her plan is to go to New York and attend university. Her father, set sail for India. He basically is like, you sure you want to do that? But like, also, your life's your life. I'm not going to stop you, type of thing. She returns to the realms after a while. She sees Gorgon and Theon, and she tells him that she's not going to be back for a while. But when they do, she is sure that they're going to have much to argue about. And Theon says, Theon asks why Gemma intends to argue with them, and she tells them because they'll be discussing the future of the realms, and she's not going to fool herself in thinking that that's going to be an easy conversation between the two, but she means it like lightheartedly. Like, we both have strong opinions. It's going to be a fight, and we know that. She goes and sees the tree. She can hear basically her name being whispered in the wind, essentially. Also, Wendy is there. Like, so when she released the souls from the tree, Wendy came back.
Wendy.
Yeah. So she sets sail to America, and in her dreams, she gets to be with Kardik.
That's literally so sad.
I know. God damn it. I was just like, he becomes a tree. Like, it just like, he's gonna be a tree. It's gonna be a tree. Yeah. So I was like, fuck. So like, because I kind of was like, I'm so sure that that's where this is going. Like, I was sobbing while I was writing the part about that. I was sobbing when I was writing the part about them, like, getting dream married. I was just like, and I did that right before work on Friday. Like, that was the scene I wrote on Friday. I was like, oh, this is terrible. But so sad. Also, just the heartache for Felicity when she's like sobbing in bed. Like,
oh yeah, that.
But also like been there, right? Like, you have like the worst, most toxic relationship of your life. But it just feels world-shattering when it ends anyways, even though it's horrible. But yeah, and that was the Gemma Doyle trilogy. And it actually held up. Like, I enjoyed it just as much, if not more, than I did, like, when I was a kid. So.
Lots of twisties and turns. Yeah, I like that the plot, like, because a lot of times it can be lost, where the characters all got, like, their bow. Yes. Even if it was not, like...
It wasn't optimal, but it was like, it was a happy ending for everybody involved, even Kardik, because like he has a purpose. He got to save the woman.
It's not like he's actually dead.
He's looking through the tree. Also, by unifying the temple and the tree, she essentially made it so that balance was permanent in the Winterlands, because dark and light are both living within the tree. And yeah, so.
It's kind of like, a grand happy ending, even out like, personal sacrifices.
Mm-hmm. And if she had let him just fucking be next to her, god damn it, he could have grabbed the knife. He could have handed her the knife if he was standing.
Well, yeah, they would have won.
They would have won, and it would have been okay. And
he tried to warn her again. With stubborn ass bitch, fucked around, found out.
Doesn't believe in dreams. And how
does she believe in every other dream but that one though? God damn.
She but whatever, it's fine. Also, fuck McCleathy, dumbass bitch. All her fault. All of her fault. Everything was her fault. She did this. She set this up. She set this in motion. Dumbass bitch.
God, nothing to lose your head over.
I mean, it is for her. And you love to see it. Okay. I will release you. I've held you prisoner for the last 12 hours.
I'll say we started. Well, it didn't start, but we began the day at like 9:30.
I began the day at 6:30.
Yeah, you began the early.
Because I woke up and I was like, God damn, I still have to edit. But yeah, that was good. And so just all of the scenes at the end, like with Pippa and the battle at the gargoyles. The psychics.
Oh yeah, I'm like, the ending was definitely a ramp up.
Yeah, and just there's so many good action scenes. Like just I would love to see that shit in live action because that could be done so cool.
Untapped property. Get on that.
Right. But like picture it. The Battle of Spence, but like shot as a long shot. So fucking cool. That would be so cool. Sorry.
Like you're like directing it. You're so fucking ready. Like cinema.
Because like a long shot for a really good battle scene is so fucking pleasing. And just that, like just following them out and then whatever. There's an IMDb for a movie that just never got made, and
resurgence. We need it.
Upsetting, but yeah. Okay.
Send us out, Nick.
Send us out, Nick.
I probably should have thought of something.
You were too busy listening.
You were engrossed. Engrossed.
They both reached for the night. The yap. 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 The yap.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Also, side note, he's like, you can't bleed, and then she shoves the knife back in to like cork it up.
Did she really? Oh my god, it's so funny.
I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I know.
Okay, it's going back